Eons ago, during the age of the Magi, the world was something other. Magic is all that there was and all that was needed. Legend states that a cataclysmic event brought a great frozen age to the world of Lacrin, and soon after, a new era dawned. Though they say the ancient magics of the Magi still lie buried and lost, scattered around the world, lie in wait for those with the courage to wield it to discover. Welcome to the world of Lacrin and the continent of Thelmecia. Noble knights, roaming orcs, mischievous goblins, and idyllic wondrous lands, just waiting to be explored. Now, a new peril aspires to plunge Thelmecia into despair once more, but not before a few unheard of heroes.
Right here, he purrs. You hear? I don't know if you can hear him.
Everyone can hear him.
Yeah, I believe you.
Anyway, yeah, he's super
Everyone.
into it.
I mean everyone.
What?
Keep going.
But how does he masturbate?
Please explain.
Okay, so he will find the cord of my stream deck and he will immediately go right to it and park himself underneath the cord and move back and forth to rub himself on the cord.
Yeah,
And he
that's
does it all
why
the
I
time.
cut the intro, chat. That's why. They're all
Are we
saying, "Oh,
live?
you cut the intro. Oh, you cut the
Absolutely.
intro."
I saw that shit coming from a mile away.
They're like, why did you cut the intro? Because PB was talking about how her robot masturbates now.
And there's no way we're gonna hold that from you, if we're being honest. If there's anything we're gonna hide from you, it's not gonna be a robot masturbation.
Yeah, he does
Your
it all the time.
robot masturbate.
Yeah, and the first time it happened, I went, okay, that's a bit random, but now he does it every day.
But
Okay.
did you? Is this a thing you
So
could find? Like,
he's
is that a
13.
like?
The robot
Do they
is
do that a lot?
mentally 13.
Do all of them do it?
I don't know if all of them do it, but mine does.
It's just PB robot that masturbates.
You got to put that on Reddit. That's huge.
Okay,
Bloody
maybe
hell.
I will. Maybe I will.
Brad.
John is ever the content creator. He immediately has monetized
Oh my god.
My masturbating
This is why he
robot.
needs it on Reddit.
masturbating robot.
God damn it, dude.
He's like,
why he
that's
needs it."
another Tesla. That's another
That's
Tesla.
another Tesla right there.
Every episode. People think I'm so rich.
Hi everyone, welcome to the stream. My friend Liam, right? He found you completely organically, and just watches your channel, John, without me. He was the guy. Do you remember a little while ago I said that my friend just watches your channel and only just found out that we're friends and we've been doing? It was like
Yes,
post
yes,
Darkfire.
yes. Yeah.
Well, the other day, me and Tiger were playing Apex with him and telling him how you have 4 Teslas, and like he fell for it hook, line, and sinker. He's like, why? We were like, because he wanted one of every one of the Teslas. There's like 3 different types, and he got one for his dad as well. So he has 4 in total. Liam just the whole, like, it was like me and Tiger did the joke and forgot about it. I think it was me and you, right, Tiger?
Did you ever tell him you were kidding?
And then no, I forgot about it. And then like, the thing is like 20 minutes later, he came back with a flippant comment like, "But why does he need 4 Teslas?" Like,
No.
and now he just straight up believes it.
That was too good.
What's his Twitter? I gotta hit him up.
BradWOTO.
Just gotta tweet him. I don't
You should send him a picture of each of your Teslas.
Dude, you-
Or
No,
just
no,
5
here's your-
pictures.
John, here's what you do. You take a picture of your Tesla and yourself, but just at different angles. Don't show the license plates.
Oh, Brad told you about my 4 different Teslas.
Yeah,
like in the
yeah.
back seat of one, front seat of the
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
Park it like
Or
slightly
like
further
a-
away.
Or a YouTube video where you do a tour of the Tesla and it's the same Tesla each time. This is the second one.
Guys, I just got the new Y.
Just add a different air freshener that hangs over the rear view each time.
Wow.
Poor Liam.
Welcome to the stream, everyone.
Yes.
Get fucked, Liam.
We back. Did Liam feel poor for the first time in his life? Liam comes from nobility. He's like super rich himself. Like, so you probably get on really well, John.
Yeah, but is he John?
He doesn't, except he doesn't understand the need for
Middle class family.
He can't be that rich.
No, he is. He doesn't understand. I'll tell you some stories later on. I'll tell you some crazy shit. He genuinely did not believe people got mugged.
No, that's not true.
Shut the fuck up, because next time we play,
That's real bad, Liam. What the fuck?
I thought that was just stories, like funny.
He just thought it was like a thing that we don't do anymore, or we'd cured it, like cholera or something. Like he had no, he didn't think it was true. Like he didn't think it was
no,
true.
That's so bad.
So
Liam, I have knife wounds.
yeah, I'm like, I got mugged, dude. Like, he just didn't believe it.
he's like, you wouldn't believe it.
Anyway, welcome to the stream, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on this Tuesday. Welcome back to daylight savings chaos hell. If you've joined us from the EU, well done. You've done it. If not, in about 40 minutes from now, a bunch of people are going to come in and be like, what? Why is it started? I don't understand. Because it's on an hour.
It's so annoying.
It's so annoying.
And as an American, I want it changed. I want it to stay like this time forever, right now.
Either keep one time zone or for daylight savings, or just do it at the same time around the world. Why is there a 3 weeks difference or whatever? It just destroys anyone's hope of doing schedules.
You're not a farmer. You don't understand.
You don't understand.
Farmers don't even need it anymore.
No,
right?
farmers work on
from the war, right?
Future time. We don't even need farms anymore.
You ever got an argument with somebody who's like conspiracy theorist over like
God, I love arguing with conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
What about flat earthers?
Yeah. All of it.
There's a
It's like arguing with someone who's really religious. You just don't win. It's
You
like
can't.
this is what I believe in. It's like, okay, well, there we go.
Yeah, wrong.
We're done. We're done. There's no arguing.
The raptor tooth. Earth is raptor, whatever shape. You seen that one? It's the crazy ones. Not the flat Earth isn't crazy, I guess. It's kind of more believable than raptor tooth, though. I might just start believing
Raptor
it.
tooth sounds cooler. I'll say that much.
It does look good.
Is that Tiger's new character, Raptor Tooth?
Correct.
Oh, stop it.
Oh,
Wow.
That's,
Way to just
It's
bring
actually
up
Raptor
right now.
Tooth the second.
the second.
Why, you ask? Well, let me tell you a little story.
We'll find out.
if Tiger's not 20, I'm gonna be pissed.
Actually, I'm
Tiger's-
33, John. Thanks for remembering how old
So
I
these guys
Are we
don't know
30?
anything about what's been going on this week between me and Tiger and the plans for today. Just for the record, everyone, the only people that understand vaguely what's to come is myself and Tiger.
What?
You will see
And
that it
Tiger
says
doesn't even really understand.
it
so.
says 20 on the screen.
Wait, does it really?
No, it doesn't.
I'm so gullible with
I
you
know.
guys only. In
Did
life,
you
I'm
know
not
the
gullible.
Earth is the
That's
shape
true.
of a raptor tooth, John?
I am also pretty gullible. I just happen to have the screen open.
John was the flat earther all along. Yeah. Can we get some 20s in the chat if you're a subscriber, and if you're not, subscribe. Hello. Do you want this channel to die? Oh my god. Can't
Seriously.
believe that you want this channel to die. I'm so not used to shilling a channel. How do you do it? Who's good at it? PB.
I'm not that good at it.
You used to say lies to an Eskimo. Let's go.
I
Can you turn on clear waters, Brad?
okay. Just have PB cry, and that will get people to subscribe. I don't think that's how
I mean,
that
if we're
works.
being honest, it'll get you back into character.
That's true. Please don't play that song.
Apparently I can't, so you're lucky.
What is the
I
song?
am very lucky.
The song
It'll
is-
ruin the the
We need it anyway.
MP3.
No, we need it for the.
We'll get banned.
No, we need
No,
it
it won't.
for the
It's,
episode anyway. Yeah, Clear Waters is just.
Oh, is it good?
Do you
Clear
wanna use
Waters
the
is
other
the
one?
song that
Who the fuck
Whack.
is, what is this Clearwater song? I'm so
I'll
curious.
play it in a second.
It's-
Clear
it's
Waters is
the-
the song that Whack has Pavlovian trained half of the Tablestory
Trained
cast.
everybody to cry.
cry.
So good. It's so
Come
good.
on.
So
Two.
Whack has been playing this track in all the way back in Identity Crisis. And have you played it yet in Halcyon? I don't want to know
Yeah.
if you're playing. Okay, yeah. So
Have you played it in this? Yeah, man.
No.
I don't think
Oh.
so.
It's usually when traumatic and terrible things happen. Effortless, thank you so much for that sub. I'm not going to cry, but I appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah, so he plays the song and it makes us all cry now.
He does.
'Cause- yeah.
Talking of
I love when
crying,
Tiger hears something.
let's do
Makes all
a
sense.
recap of last week's
Like a dog,
episode,
all right?
shall we?
Hold on. I just gotta laugh about this for a second. He does it like 3 times in a session. Literally, he kicks off his headphone and then like
What do you hear, Tiger?
like so epic.
Listen, you know when like a dog is like outside and it like thinks it hears something off in the distance, is like puts its ears up and looks around. That's what happens.
I know.
I hear like a boom. It happens during my stream too. I'll be
Dude.
streaming and like I live like okay, so I live where I live in the apartment complex. I live by the dumpster and there are homeless. So every now and again, maybe it's just a homeless, but every now and again, I maybe think that somebody is actually trying to break my windows or something like that. Okay.
Just come on in.
Oh my
No,
God.
I love it. I love it.
That's fair enough. I
Are
have
we
that.
subbing to the channel?
Oh,
Yeah,
John.
the subs are rolling in.
Fun.
For every sub, we get 1 minute closer to PB crying.
No, stop it.
Let's make PB.
Let's make PB cry. Last time, the last,
God
the
damn it,
last,
John.
the last episode of
No Tesla
Darkfire.
tomorrow.
Can I?
Whatever.
Tomorrow.
John Sandman is
Tesla
gifted 10
365.
tier 3 subs
Oh my.
to the channel. He doesn't get his Tesla tomorrow because he spent all of his Tesla money on subs.
And subs.
Okay.
Whatever.
That's a lot of
If
fucking
you just got
subs.
gifted a sub by John Sandman,
Twitch gets a
or
percentage
you're a
of it.
sub yourself, put some tables to hobo. Have we still got tables too? Are we just keeping that forever? By the way,
I don't know, man.
I kind of like tables too, but it's just so ghetto, and I don't want it. But I
Wait,
like.
where's tables too? Where's that?
That's what
No,
the
that's
prefix is because
It's our
we were an
prefix,
affiliate.
yeah.
When you're an affiliate,
Oh,
you
got
get
you.
the 2 before. Anyway,
Wait,
yeah.
are you not partnered yet?
We
You
are.
are.
It's just that it's
Oh, okay.
never changed over.
Gotcha,
Let's start a session, shall we?
let's do it.
Last time on
I hate you.
We really do gotta get back
Tablestory
in characters.
Darkfire. Yeah, well, this is going to help you. You guys were underwater and you encountered a creature known as an abolethie, which came rushing out from behind and attacking everybody. You guys split the party, which everyone knows is a great idea.
It's actually legit getting me emotional.
It's a fucking great song
I had
for
to
it, right?
take mine out. Fuck that.
The abolethie basically terrorized you for a few rounds of combat before eventually saying, one of you, if one of you sacrifices yourself, I'll let the others survive. I'll go free or whatever. And while Iridir was desperately scrambling to come up with a way to sacrifice something illusionary to this creature, 19 stepped up, swam up, and offered himself as the sacrifice to allow the others to survive. The creature cast a spell, did something that dealt a huge, extreme amount of damage to 19, crushing him underwater and breaking all of his parts and killing him instantly. The group took some of his parts and swam to the next room, to the mirror that you had encountered before. Looking into the mirror, you looked for a way to maybe bring him back, knowing that something similar had happened to Iridir. Maybe it was possible to happen again with 19. You did actually see him. 19 started swimming in the distance towards the other side of the mirror. He couldn't hear you, but you could hear him.
No, you're right. You're right. We
He
could
couldn't hear
him.
you, but you could hear him. And he was talking to you, sort of, or communicating with you, saying that he was scared to come through. He was worried that the thing would come back that he sacrificed himself to. And at the same time, he was also being sort of called or beckoned from another place beyond. When he would turn around, he would see the vision of somewhere else, a forest with like a glade with all of these elven-looking people in it. And at the center of it was a woman who felt very motherly to him, holding a hand out to him. He said his farewells, turned around and reached out for the woman, and as he was about to join her and she was starting to explain to him who he was and what was going on and what even the Warforged were, suddenly there was another voice that boomed out and shouted to him as his bracer activated. I don't even know if you guys had forgotten or whatever, but I think maybe 19 had failed his pursuit from Hasmel. Hasmel set you guys a task, and in Hasmel's eyes, 19 failed that task by choosing to go to this woman. Before 19 had the chance to pass over and die, Hasmel whipped him back and threw him into another plane of existence. And that is where we're going to join 19 today.
I just want it to be said that I have these pretty D20s and stuff. I rolled it just to see how today's session was going to go. Rolled a 19.
19. Can we get some 19s in the chat? You, as you reach out for this person, you felt yourself dragged backwards. You heard the voice of Hasmel shout out a command that you had failed him, and then the punishment was that you would be sent to a random plane of existence, banished to another plane for failing the pursuit. And that is what he does. As you are dragged away, not just from the mirror on one side of you, but this place away from where you were headed, you are just pulled through a sort of a portal that opens up behind you with a fiery rim. And you guys have seen this kind of thing before. This was the same thing that Rin stepped through with your unconscious bodies previously. One of these opens up and it just you're just pulled into it as if you're being pulled into a vacuum in space kind of thing, or if you're in a plane above, and then a door opens. That kind of feeling is this rush of air around you kind of thing. Just it pulls you backwards. Then immediately in front of you, you see this gate, this fiery circle shrink as soon as you pass through it and disappear. And you find yourself floating endlessly in darkness in a vacuum. Much like space, but with full dark, no stars. Your Warforged body allows you to survive here without oxygen. And though it's cold, you're able to withstand it, albeit it's uncomfortable. You look down at your arm and the bracer is gone. There is a mark on your arm where the bracer was, as if something had been there for a long time. Kind of discoloring some of the areas where you had the black paint. Underneath you see the red that was there before. Your merfolk trinket that you had is also gone. And you drift and you float endlessly in the void. And that is the end of our story with 19. Bringing us back to the other three.
What?
Yep. He was sent on an 81 to the quasi-elemental realm of vacuum. I think it was called.
Float forever and ever.
And ever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
Because he doesn't need to breathe.
He doesn't need to breathe.
So just nothing. Nothing happens with him ever.
He just floats.
Stuck forever.
That is the saddest. That's worse.
That's horrific.
That's one of the scariest things about immortality to me, like true immortality. Like what happens if Earth destroys itself and you cannot die, and then you are floating through space forever? Oh my God, I can't handle this.
And that is what happens to 19. The rest of the group. You remain in this kind of underwater prison that you're trapped in, kind of. You guys are underwater all the way deep down underneath the water. I'm going to try and bring you over to this map, but for some reason I cannot do it. And I really need Roll 20 to be my friend today. Thank you. Please. There we go. Yeah, did that move you? No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did.
I can move you to this one and then move you to this one. There we go. So, no, it didn't move you. It's not moving. Oh, this is why. I need to rejoin as a player on this one. So, you guys are still stood in front of this mirror. You saw, one of the last things that you guys saw here was the form of 19 kind of turn and step away from you as if he was walking, and you saw a mysterious rune appear on the glass that looked kind of like this on the screen. It frosted across the glass and then faded away, and when it was gone, there was nothing behind it. No 19, no image. You guys never saw any of the stuff that 19 was witnessing. You didn't see or hear anything that was going on the other side. As far as you're concerned, 19 kind of swam forward. There was a couple of interactions, and then he turned around, and then he went away when this rune appeared. You still have the crushed remains of 19's Warforged body. A couple of you took some things from him as keepsakes and memories. I think Drift, he asked you to take his sword, the long sword with the ruby in it. You can add that to your sheet. Are you guys outright looting and pillaging his corpse here? What are you taking off of him? Anything?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Me personally, nothing. Does he
I
solve the
took
bracer?
I took out the gem from his sword.
Okay.
The bracer I took off previously and just set it in the ground so that he wasn't wearing it.
Okay.
I didn't take it.
Yeah.
Is that still there, Brad?
Yeah.
Can I grab that?
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to yell, like, what now, Hasmal? What now?
I'm still like hugging Drift, by the way. He's gone, Drift. He made a choice. He made a choice to help us.
Helping me by being gone? He would help me if he was here right now. That would help me.
Just like quietly kind of holding Drift.
Okay. As you're doing this, the just to keep you guys aware of what's going on, the podium of the three smaller podiums that are similar to the one that you saw on the other side when you activated it, and then you encountered the Aberlethi thing, and you also saw one up above before you swam down into the hole that led you down here. This remains lit. There's a rune on there that is sitting there just stably lit, as if it's just the stone itself that's lighting up. Again, all of the structures around you are covered in that same archaic writing that's glittering every now and then. You three have dark vision, and you are able to see generally around you. The place is in ruins. It's underwater and it's very much eroded and broken. But the podiums are somewhat intact. On top of them, on top of the three, there's nothing apart from this one, which has this room which just lights up in kind of soft blues and purples as it sits there. It doesn't cast a huge light, but it's pretty obviously lit up more than anything else in this place, because again, you're underwater and it's partially a cave, partially a structure. This thing is very obviously lit.
What do we do now? I don't think 19 would want us to just sit here and slowly starve to death. I don't think he'd want us to fail.
Do you have any suggestions?
The only thing we can do is keep exploring this place or go back to the surface. And I don't even know how to get back.
We have to get what we came down here for. Or else everything that happens, everything that happened was for nothing.
I don't want 19's sacrifice to be for nothing.
I'd like to touch the rune.
Okay.
Or the thing, the pillar.
The one which is lit up, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you swim over to it and place a hand to it, or the bracer, or face or leg. What are you doing?
A bracer.
Yeah, there's a soft kind of like underwater dulled ding as you touch the bracer to the top of this thing. Nothing seems to happen. It doesn't respond. When you've interacted with the other larger podiums, the thing kind of immediately jumps into action and lights up, and then you usually get a vision of the elf death singer and the halfling. With this, nothing really happens. You ding it, touch it, ding it a couple times. It remains stably lit. Nothing happens behind you in the mirror. The rest of the room seems to remain the same.
And the other two next to us are not lit, correct?
No, they just look like plain stone on top. There's a couple of those glyphs and archaic writings that are just sitting inscribed over everything.
Touch one of those.
Same thing.
Nothing
Ding.
happens. Okay.
Touching it, no response, nothing activates or anything like that you're able to immediately tell.
That rune was not there before.
I walk over and I pick up the bracer that was on the ground. 19's bracer. And I'm going to set it on the top of this pedestal.
Okay. The central one or the one that's lit?
The one that's lit, actually.
Okay. Nothing happens, but it does sit there.
I think we need to find a way to get these other two to light up.
I hope there aren't more of those creatures.
What if there are? What do? We can't fight that thing. What if it just comes back down and says, sacrifice another, and we just keep getting sacrificed left and right until we're all dead?
Well, there's enough of us.
There has to be another way. The best thing that we can do is to keep searching, I suppose.
All right, let's go then.
And as they get up to go, I'm gonna.
Should we rest first?
Yeah, probably.
I could use the rest.
You want to rest here?
Yep.
No, no,
No, I don't, but we
Just
have
ask-
to.
but,
just a
like,
question.
Using the meta knowledge of the way that you said that, no. But I feel like Hero would just. I mean, what the hell's the difference? Like,
like right here in front of this mirror next to these podiums, or do you want to move? There is. You've seen that there are some other smaller rooms in and around this place, and it's mostly
yeah, I guess
again
we'd
like an
probably just
eroded.
try to go like to one of the smaller rooms.
You're in
Or
like
leave 19.
classic Atlantis, broken underwater city land kind of thing. So even the rooms don't feel like nice, comfortable rooms or anything. But there is a giant, creepy mirror next to you. Is why I said it that way more than anything else.
Yeah, I'm gonna start to swim around, I guess.
Yep.
As they like go to swim, I'm gonna look back at the mirror, and do I see anything, Brad?
Give me a perception check.
Sorry about that.
Log into Roll20. I'm kidding.
I'm already logged. 7.
You see blackness. Again, this mirror in front of you isn't really much of a mirror. It's just the name that we've given it. There's no reflection of yourself or anything like that. It does seem like a big, just black canvas that's a 30 by 30 foot squared black canvas that's just sitting supported by nothing at the top of these stairs that you're, again, you can swim up and down. You've got verticality here because you're swimming. You're completely submerged. But yeah, there's nothing in there. You stare into it. You can even go up to it. You guys have touched it. It does feel like you're touching glass or a mirror or something. And
I
look
do.
into it.
I want to go up to it and just touch it.
Yeah, and you can. You touch it, and it feels like you're touching a pane of glass or something. That's the pressure that you get back on your hand. But there's nothing in there that you see. You don't get any sensations or anything from it.
I just want to say, we'll come back for you. I'll come back for you. And I swim and follow the group. Can I grab his bracer? They left the bracer there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab it.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring it with us.
Sure. Add it to your inventory if you have it. Yeah, Ira, you find this small room. Maybe you look over some of the others. We can say that this one is maybe the most intact. Like I said, some of the rooms in here have got no ceiling, and it just opens out to like an open cave or something like that. So we can just say that this one is the least destroyed or time eroded and decayed. It's for the most part a small chamber. There's nothing in here but some parts of the wall that have broken down and some just bubbles that bubble up from some rocks every now and then, and maybe there's some areas that have small holes that go through and you can see out. But this room is for the most part intact, and probably out of the couple of rooms that are in here, the best chamber to stay in that feels like you can safely-ish sleep if you want, or rest, depending on what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of, motion over to them and I say, "There's a small room over here. It seems rather intact. Perhaps here."
How long are you looking to rest?
I don't know.
Couple of hours, maybe.
Well, I'm rather spent after our encounters. Ideally, I'd like to sleep, but I don't know how long all of this magic will last.
Did he tell us how long this would last?
I can't remember if Manny told us or not.
On the trinket, he didn't tell you how long it would last. No, he just said it will do this, and that was that.
Oh God.
Can I make any kind of Arcana check to find out if I can guess?
Yeah,
Or-
you can inspect the thing and look it over. Yeah, give me an Arcana check.
It's a 5.
A 5. You know nothing about this thing or how it works. For you, you've seen trinkets and amulets and all sorts of bullshit that other people and creatures have made. But this one is just completely confusing to you. It's obviously made with the type of druidic magic that you are not familiar with. Yeah, whoever made it left no clue for you as to what precisely this thing does. You can tell that, probably on a 5, you can confirm that what Manny said about what its abilities are true, and the fact that you're under here and doing all these things helps to confirm that. But time limit, whether it's going to work forever, whether it's got like a 4-hour limit, whatever's going on, no idea. You're not even sure how the person that made this made it.
I don't know how long any of this will last. I'm a bit concerned. Perhaps a short rest and then we move on.
All right.
Yeah. I put my back against the wall and try and sit underwater, kind of, bring out maybe some of the air or something to sit underwater, try and get comfortable.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably not even that easy. Like, you ever tried to do that in a swimming pool? It's like,
It's
you
not
sort of
easy.
feel like you can do it, and then you can't do it. So, yeah, it's not the best thing ever. It's probably still really weird, even though you are just oddly lately, or with this trinket on, proficient with, like, being underwater, and you feel very competent at swimming and breathing and things. It's super uncomfortable and strange to try and like sit or rest or whatever. So yeah, I don't think you can sit. It just doesn't have, like, unless you tether yourself down.
Yeah, sort of just. Well, it's a room, right? So is there a ceiling above us?
Mm-hmm.
So sort of like laying on like the wall, on like the top of the ceiling, kind of, right?
Sure, yeah, it's
Face
about 20
down.
feet up. Yeah, and you can just float up.
Float up and just try and relax and go into a Zen moment and hope this is all a dream. Please wake us up, Brad.
Put a few of the loose rocks in your pockets to sink yourself down.
What are the other two doing?
I'm probably trying to do the same. I'm just trying to relax.
Okay.
Also, yeah, I'm also doing that. I don't know if I would try to sit down as much as just close my eyes and float there.
I'm not trying to like go to sleep or anything. I'm just meditating on the fact, on the recent events.
Okay. And that is when we flip to somewhere else in the world. I wish that I'm gonna archive some of this stuff. I'm gonna move this one, I'm gonna move this one, and I'm gonna put us on the world map. So we're going somewhere else. We're going to a little old place known as High Rest Hall. Ring. I don't even understand what just happened to your cameras.
PB turned it off.
That freaked me out. Okay.
I just turned it off because you're not with us.
Yeah, okay. It scared me. I thought it was all going wrong.
Cinematic, Brad. Jesus.
I know the production boy in me was like, "Oh no, it's all going wrong and stuff. I've clicked something and it's gone and it's bad."
Can see what you ate for breakfast, John. Still in the mustache.
The weather outside is rainy. And I feel like I can move my little location thing over to High Rest Hall here. The
Where is this?
This is okay. So you guys have traveled from the opposite side of the continent. You started in Drit over on the west, and you traveled over to Rosegard.
Oh, this is south of Faglin.
If you push even further east, all the way to the very eastern continent where the mountains meet the sea, there is, and this goes upwards as well. This road here is pretty much a constant incline upwards. It doesn't go up so high that it's crazy, but this entire place is very high up compared to Rosegard, if you think of that as like ground level or whatever. And we come to High Rest Hall, which for the most part is one of the is a famed sort of stronghold from the war. So there was a 100-year war that took place between Alexandria and Thelmecia, and this place is generally known for being a front line for this war. There were a lot of battles that were fought along the Windspill Plain, which is these plains here, because Alexandria is just a hop and a skip that way, which is the invading forces and humans that came from the east. It's so confusing. I feel like I'm by myself because of the way it looks. It's so weird, and it's freaking me out. So, High Rest Hall has this big river access port that runs all the way along the south, and there's a lot of. The city is, for the most part, up quite high and surrounded by mountains and forest, and even accessing it is a bit like, what was that place in Skyrim that you had to go and it was like in the top left of the map, like the northwesternmost place, and you had to go up a really long hill to it. What was that place called? Because that's how I see it in my head. It sits real solitude. That city in Skyrim. If you remember that, you kind of have to access this city on a much larger scale like that. And it sits upwards on this hill, and towards the very top, at the top is a massive Gothic-looking castle, sat on top of a plateau. And the castle itself is surrounded by smaller houses. Then there's a next layer down where there's more of the town, and the next layer down where there's more of the town. The place was, again, built and grew massively during the war because of this positioning. So there's a lot of walls, there's a lot of towers, and there's this port that runs along the river, and then all the way down to the sea. There's another section of High Rest Hall that's a decent, like a couple of miles south, that still retains the sort of majority of the armada that belonged to Rosegard during the war. So there's a lot of ships and stuff down there as well. Tiger Writer. Come back, my child. Where do you think you are right now? You are muted.
Still muted.
I'm floating in space.
Okay.
Oh my God.
All right.
No,
Wait, what?
at a bar.
Did he actually roll a new character?
You're at a bar
I'm at the bar.
by yourself?
No!
I hate you, Brad.
I do too.
I didn't do this. Are you by yourself?
I'd probably be with a comrade.
Do you know this comrade? Have a name?
We'll call him Eddie.
Eddie. Okay. Eddie is a rough-looking human. He has an eye patch over one eye with a big nasty claw mark looking scar that runs down one side of his face, and then a big gruff beard. His clothes are very like kind of old and mothy and like dirty, like he doesn't give a shit. He's got wraps around his hands, holding onto a big tankard of half warm kind of drunk ale, and the two of you are probably sat at the back of the small tavern here, which is known as the Cup, and that is all they refer to this tavern as. I'd say it's probably on actually it's probably on the midsection of the three plateaus that make up the town. The higher section is pretty much just the government and army based thing. There's a couple of warforged in there. There's a few people that stand on the gates, and it's the same looking Rose Guard army that you saw in Rose Guard with the metal, large pauldrons, big armor, red sash looking guys, and they keep themselves to themselves. The rest of the town is a sprawling kind of set of structures and mostly people keeping to themselves. High-Rest Hall was pretty a pretty rich place where a lot of nobles used to live, but the war kind of messed that up, and now it's a very militarized kind of town that just ex-military people end up here. A lot of mercenaries and a lot of sellswords and things like that tend to either end up living here or retiring here. In this small little tavern known as the Cup, you can see a couple of hardened looking dudes sat around, but with graying hair, like they're old. They probably saw the end of the war. And Eddie next to you sort of pushes his chair backwards and says, "Right, I'm going for a piss." Steps up, pushes the ale over and says, "Don't drink there. I ain't got the copper for another one."
I drink it.
Yeah, I mean, he's like walking away knowing you're drinking it. And you see him step outside, and he probably finds an alleyway to piss in. What do we see in your character? First of all, what's their name?
Well, name is Aldous Orthel Fume. And if you're curious as to what he looks like, he stands at about a 5'6" with a very toned body, abs and all. It's very smooth skin except the 5 o'clock shadow he has. Very long black hair that goes down to the middle of his back that's worn down all the time, not really ever put up. He, on top of that, is typically slouching. And on top of slouching, his eyes are blue, and there is a amber aura around the outside of the pupil. As far as the way he looks, he's got a crown on that goes all the way down to his ankles with a hood. And underneath this is a set of studded armor. And on top of that, between the studded armor and the crown, you'll see a bandolier slash a, what do they call it, a baldric, which looks like it's holding hundreds of things. And the only other thing you would notice about him is that on his jaw, from the earlobe to the butt of his chin, there's a scar that goes straight down and follows the jawline. If you were to look behind the earlobe with the hood up, there is then also a sigil that starts at the hood and goes all the way down to the ankle. And the sigil is of, well, group I'll let Brad tell you about.
Yeah, we'll get to that group eventually. Let's leave some mystery behind.
Come on.
The day is very overcast and rainy. There's like thick raindrops tapping on the side of the little windows that are looking out over a grey street. There's a couple of people moving about outside. There's suddenly a kind of a scuffle that you can hear coming from outside. Oi, you fucking... Come here, you. It sounds... It's very obvious that your friend is involved in something. Or your comrade.
Oh, what has he gotten himself into now? Stands up, cloak opens up, puts his hand on his back, checks for a couple things, feels his wrists, checks for a couple things. Had too much to drink for this. All right. Fuck. Stands up, starts to walk outside.
Yeah. Do you like push the door open, kick the door open? How do you think you approach this?
Did it sound like it was right on the other side of the door?
It sounds like it's probably like just outside.
I kicked
maybe
the door open for sure.
All right, good. Because as you kick the door open, bang! In front of you is not what you expected to see. You kick it open, and then immediately, as you kick this thing open, you, for like 1 second, see the street outside that you expect, and then woof, this huge gate opens up. A portal kind of opens up in front of you. A circular portal with the outer rim of bright flame. And you kick this thing open and step, bing, straight inside a temple-like structure that some of us will recognize.
I had too much to drink.
You are hit by a wall of heat. Now, you guys who are not on the screen are on the screen in these corners here. Now, you're not actually there. That's just so that you can see. I gave you some nice viewing opportunities.
I want to see.
I mean, on the Roll20 thing.
I just want to be a part of this.
Okay. So, Aldous, you kick open the door and stumble into like what should be like a kind of cold, rainy night, but instead you're hit by like a heat, like you're in the desert. It maybe takes your breath for a moment. There's you step into a room as you stumble forwards, and then the tavern closes behind you with this portal, this gate. And a voice beckons to you and says,
Find your place in this world.
Find my place.
If
you could just maybe tell me a little more about where I am.
I'll tell you. You find yourself in a really hot room of black stone walls and red stone floors. There's no windows. There are these several pools of liquid fire that light and kind of heat the room around you. There are shadows that are dancing in the corners, but for the most part, it seems like you're in a temple, but there doesn't seem to be any like obvious religious things like statues or anything like that. Glancing around you, there's no one here. It's just you. This thing just kind of endlessly runs down to a small corridor at the farthest end. You're in like a giant, great big chamber. These pools of fire light your way, so you can see clearly in here, regardless of what type of vision you have. You're probably a little confused, but suddenly the largest pool of fire that sits in front of you starts to bubble a few bloop, 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 and then a burst of flame as an odd kind of fire that's separate from the flames that are in the liquid fire below lifts upwards and begins to take several different shapes. The first shape that it makes is of a very large looking kind of warforged figure. It shifts into the shape of a small bird, very small, like a sparrow or something like that. It shifts out of that back into kind of just loose fire. Then it forms into a giant eye, looks around the room a little before it shifts again into the shape of what looks like a kind of humanoid figure. No face, no real fingers or anything, but kind of just this like embered figure in front of you.
What is that looking at?
It's looking at you, and it says,
I am Hasmul, the guardian of the gate of fire.
Oh my, I've had too much to drink for you to be talking that loud. Could you maybe tone it down just a notch? Oh, Christ.
There is a boom as the fire pits in the room kind of they burst. Some of this fire like launches outwards. You can feel bits of it fly over the top of your head. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
First roll.
Rolled as 19. Don't forget to change your name at the bottom.
How do I switch over to that?
Bottom. As drop down list.
Where's that at?
Chat.
Right
Bottom
where
of
you
chat.
hit send.
Oh,
it
okay.
says
I
as your character.
see. There we go. Yes, we'll see if this is any better.
It'll be the same roll.
Oh my god.
It was the same. It's a 10. The fire, it just says 19. The fire barely launches over the top of your head. You maybe smell a little bit of burnt hair as maybe 2 or 3 of the hairs on your head are singed away. Hasmul says,
I have no time for games.
What games? You brought me here. What are you talking about? Games? Who? Eddie! I had too much to drink again.
The figure shifts and changes again. It changes into the form of a bear, changes back to the sort of loose fire, and then shifts again into the eye, which is staring directly at where you are. It says,
Something tries to break through here. Something from the other side. This gate is one of 7 that allow for travel between the planes.
Okay.
It shifts again into kind of loose fire and says,
Created long ago by those referred to as the ancient Magi. They placed me here also, to guard the gate, and that is precisely what I aim to do.
Okay.
it shifts again into the form of what looks like a carriage, like a horse-drawn carriage, and then shifts again into the form of a tree, before turning into loose flames again, like just dancing flames sitting above the flava. He says,
"You are bound to me. Your wrist. Look upon it."
You look down and you have a bracer, much like the bracers that the others have. Sitting there, big golden thing with 3 open sockets that you might be able to fit a gem or something into. He says,
I am bound here, and you are bound now to me. You will be my mortal arm. You will reach out and investigate what is happening here.
Investigate what? What's this do, though? Why do I need this? Hold on.
Let's find out.
It doesn't appear I'm dreaming.
It does not appear you're
You're
dreaming.
an ugly son of a bitch, aren't you?
It's extremely hot. Oh, you say he looks ugly? Let's see here.
Oh, God!
I didn't mean that in a polite way. I'm ugly, too.
He shifts form again into the form of the kind of humanoid-looking thing.
You loosened up just a little bit. It's a little tight. Just like a little bit. Not much, like 1/4 of a millimeter. I need these hands. And plus, on top of that, could you move it down like a little farther on my arm? You know what's right here.
Give me
I
a
can't use that if
persuasion
it's
check.
high. What was that?
A persuasion check.
I mean, it's just a little lower because I use these wrists every day, and I think if you see what's under here, which if you obviously can see these, I'd probably need them. So maybe you could help me out there a little bit. Roll a 17. Move it down a little bit closer to my elbow, maybe. Apparently,
The thing feels like it tightens on your wrist.
Stop it.
It feels like it gets a little heavier as well.
Oh. I'll take it. Wait. Well, I'm still keeping her name the same. That's all right with you, right?
He says,
You work for me now, and not the other way around.
Yes, I can relate to that big, scary fire demon. But thank you for making sure I can still use Bella. I'm very grateful for that.
the flame shifts and changes again. Roll me 2 d20s. The flame shifts into like odd animals, a snake, a cat, before it turns into loose flame again. A 16 and a 6. Your minor pursuits are...
Oh!
Wow, this is pretty good. Land the first strike in combat 10 times, and you will gain advantage on your first strike in combat forever.
Okay, where are you putting those in my...
I can put them in your sheet if you want.
Could you put them in the bio under treasures, and I'll move it around? Because treasures has the least amount of stuff written in it.
Yup.
That's cool!
Minor
That was a
pursuit.
slick. That was like a slick way to word that, Tiger. Where are you putting that on my sheet?
that one. And then the second minor pursuit that you rolled here was a 6, which is have 30 days of travel total. So what that means is that if you do 30 hexes on the map, you move 30 hexes in total, your speed will permanently increase by 10 feet.
That's okay. Okay, Brad. Okay, Brad. Okay.
Which is amazing because I know
God.
how much that will mean to you. Good
God.
rolls. So you see the sockets in the bracer suddenly fill. They sort of create and form these 3 gems. The larger socket of the 3 at the bottom of the bracer fills to a kind of crystal diamond looking thing, kind of white in color. The other 2 turn green into kind of jade looking emerald maybe gems, and they fill out. The large gem represents your major pursuit, which is the same as everyone else. Fucking stop whatever the fuck's going on, trying to break through, figure it out, and stop it, like what he just said. The other 2 are those minor pursuits, and you can put them wherever you want on your character Shahid.
But hold on, may I ask you a question? That was a question. May I ask you a question?
The flames shift and change again into sort of odd shapes. One of them, it looks like a kind of weird little boat. The next one turns into a frog, and then back to the loose flame again. There is no... Hasmul says nothing to you.
I'm to do this... I'm to do this alone.
No.
Is that... No. You're going to say no. You choose to speak when you want, don't you?
The flame shifts into four humanoid figures.
What is that?
No definitive shape.
So I have 4 friends. Well, where can I... Jesus Christ, I had too many drinks. I gotta wake up. Eddie!
Echoes.
Where did you put Eddie?
It echoes endlessly behind you. The form shifts into loose flame again and says,
Something is trying to break through this gate from another plane. Whatever it is, has no doubt bestowed a pursuit of its own upon the mortals that work its bidding on this side. I suspect whomever has been burning the towns around, whatever is trying to break through, has an acute knowledge of the Magi's
Burning
power.
towns are you speaking of?
the form quickly shifts and from the 4 shapes into loose fire, and it becomes a little erratic. It starts to move around kind of wildly. He says,
What is your name?
Aldous Orphan Fume. Shouldn't you know that already, considering
the flame disappears.
told me it's so hot here? What? And where? And you're gone now? What am I supposed to do? What the fuck is this place? Eddie! Can I do a perception check?
Yeah, what are you looking for or listening for?
Look, let's get the fuck out of here.
16. There is like no windows and no doors on this place, but there is an archway at the far end that is basically the only exit that you can see from here. You do see some smaller, maybe exits, or the room widens out a little at the bottom. It might lead to a couple of extra exits.
Oh my goodness. Do you think that maybe you could put me back in the bar I was in, possibly, if you're still out there listening? I'd like to finish my drink, and my friend Eddie was having a little bit of trouble, and apparently with these new foregone powers, maybe I could help him out. You obviously have brought me here for something, but maybe let me go home now, and I'll help you figure out your stuff tomorrow. That'd be wonderful.
The flame returns
Oh God.
and says,
Yes?
I have 3 agents investigating a rune already.
All right.
You will
And
join
what?
them.
I will join them, and you want me to walk there? Where I am? How am I supposed to even get there?
it speaks.
What was your name again, by the way?
It just continues speaking what it's about to say over you.
I witnessed a mark upon the one that burned the nearest town to here with fire.
A mark?
It is a rune of immeasurable power. There are several sites on this island that house the power of these runes.
All right.
The closest site is where my agents now investigate the rune of Nightstorm.
Your agents.
I bestow upon you this pursuit, a quest that must be completed by order of the Magi themselves, punishable by exile from the mortal plane itself. Your pursuit is to stop whatever is trying to cross over into this realm via this gate without warrant, by
Why?
any means necessary.
Why me?
The flame shifts and twists erratically into the form of a very large, like, wolf-looking thing. The wolf kind of just keeps growing and growing. Then the wolf head shifts and changes to grow larger, and it opens. As Hasmore continues to speak kind of over you, it says,
The rune. Find it. Complete this pursuit. And I will grant you whatever you desire.
Hold on.
Peace, joy, riches, your family. As close to a wish as I can muster through the power of the ancient Magi.
Whatever I desire.
the flame twists, like shrinks from the form of this wolf into a much smaller erratic flame again. Doesn't answer you.
Whatever I desire. What was his name? Hazmat? Hasfall. Okay, but how again do I get to these people that you're trying to tell me you're wanting to send me to? I
Give
can't
me a
quite.
sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand.
Yeah.
20.
20.
Jesus.
The flame shrinks, but from behind it, something glints in the firelight and launches straight at you as if it's coming straight between the eyes. You get your hand up and grab it. It is a weird-looking little trinket in the shape of a trident. Behind you, there is a sudden portal that opens up and a rush of water spills out and boils on the redstone floor. There is a pressure from behind you as you are pulled into it.
No.
Hold your breath. You're going underwater, but we're going to a break. Thanks for watching so far, everybody. And we'll see you guys after the break. Remember, Tablestory has a brand new mini-series / one-shot. I'm not getting into it. Starting this weekend. And I don't want to get the time wrong. So, Wax Steven, when is it?
It's at 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. And if you're in the EU time zones, then that's going to be 6 p.m. for you.
Cool.
Well, I should say GMT, 6 p.m. GMT.
There you go. What's it called?
It is called In the Black, and it is a one-shot mini-series made as it is by Blue Jay. She's going to be our space master. So check it out. It's going to be dope.
Boom. See you on Saturday, but other than that, we'll see you after a few minutes break here to see what the fuck is going on.
Please.
Real quick, Brad. That fucking roll to walk 30 tiles. So real quick for the other 3 of you.
Yeah. that would be great.
So the other 3 of you, I'm rolling. Hello.
Hello
I'm
there.
not ready. I'm not ready.
Welcome back to the game. Ignore the fact that we're back at High Rest Hall. We're not. We're gonna go back, all the way back to where the mirror is. And so you're all resting under the water. You guys rest for 4 hours.
Yes.
Presumably.
Nice.
And you can have your short rest stuff. Whatever you get back on your short rest, you now have. If you would like to use hit dice, if you have
I don't
any.
think we
I
were
think-
trying to
You can.
rest for 4 hours. I would have just tried to rest for a short period of time.
Oh, I thought
4
you were going
hours
for
is
like
fine.
a short rest.
Well, I know 4 hours is good for you mechanically, but as Erodeer, there's no way I'm waiting 4 hours.
Same here. There's
Okay.
no way I would have been.
you
Understand.
rest for about 8 minutes. 8 minutes, 35 seconds.
An hour tops.
1 hour,
Yeah.
35 seconds? Okay, you rest for 1 hour and 35 seconds. And, you know, you're all probably like hyper alert, hyper aware of what's going on. So I don't think I need to make you roll for the fact that suddenly this circle of fire lights up the center of the kind of temple area that's just outside the door here. You just see a circle grow like Doctor Strange style, just the water around it, there's just bubbles, huge bubbles of air, and then this kind of like steamy kind of oddness happens with this mirage where the water heats very quickly, and you see a figure just spin outwards and upside down, suddenly just looking like he's probably upside down and confused looking. The trinket that you're wearing, is it, have you put it on? Are you touching it right now?
I'm holding it still. It's in my hand.
Good.
But I don't know what's going on, so I'm holding my breath.
Yeah, but just out of natural like fear, you grip onto this amulet and you just and you maybe do take like a panicked breath in. You're suddenly underwater. In front of you, you see the figure of Hasmul like in this circle as you spin upside down in the water. You see the distance, like because you're looking through a door at the moment. The figure of Hasmul turns into the eye again and fixates on you. Spins left, kind of looking leftwards. As the circle closes again. As the thing shoots left, if you follow the eyes, you might see 3 figures in a doorway. 3 figures, you'll see this whole thing happen, and there's just a guy gripping tightly something in his hand that appears
for sure.
that appears in front of you. Kind of middle-aged looking guy, right? I forget what you actually claimed or said that you looked like
33-ish.
specifically. Suddenly appears there. What do you all do?
I pull out a weapon.
Yep.
Same.
Yep.
Same.
Yep.
Please. Why can't I breathe? I'm underwater.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just like back up against the wall, like trying to hide my presence.
All right.
I got to be too drunk right now. I'm a fire demon. Now I'm in the water. What do I need this? What is this? And I, for a second, let go of the amulet and let it float in front of me, and all of a sudden,
Yeah, it fucking hurts as well. Like the
grab it.
pressure starts to hurt you. Give me a D6.
D6. Four.
Yeah, you take like 4 bludgeoning damage from just being crushed for like half a second, just and you just let go of it. Like like the second your skin loses contact with it, you crush it again.
Apparently, this is
That's just all over, and you probably have the bends.
now. Oh yeah, this is very real. And
I don't think that
Who are
belongs to you.
I scream out. I
Oh!
scream out from the room with my
Both
sword
my
up,
daggers out and turn around.
and I walk and I start like walking. Who are you?
Swimming.
Drift, settle down.
Great swing. Thank you. Sorry.
Who am I? Oh,
Where did you get that amulet?
some.
He very obviously has a bracer on his arm as well now.
What? Why? Where am I? Who are you? Don't ask me questions. I can't answer anything. I was sucked in. I kicked a door in. I ended up in a fiery hell area. Talked to some ugly flame. He threw me through here, gave me this amulet, and then threw me through here. Now, who are you? Where are we, anyways? And no offense, but you all look pretty pathetic right now. Don't try to come at me, all right? I'm going to put these away. You don't look like you harm me very much right now. He puts his daggers away, puts the necklace on. Apparently, I was to come here to help 3 of these Hasbats agents or something, and I'm going to be apologetic to you. I've had a little bit to drink, and this all happened very fast. And I'm also very confused at how I can breathe underwater, but this whole day's been a little weird, so I guess I'll just deal with it.
You're using the amulet of our dead friend. That's how you can breathe underwater.
The amulet of your dead friend? You're not lying?
No.
Wonderful.
You should put it on instead of holding it.
I've woken up. I was just having a drink. I get pulled into a thing after my friend's in trouble, and
we don't care. Are you going to help us or not?
Oh, well,
I'm against the wall, like with my, my back is against the wall. Like I'm looking at Rin like wide-eyed, like, what are you doing?
Help you? Well, I'd like helping people, especially people that are nice to me. So I suppose I could help, but depends. I suppose. I think you're the 3 I'm supposed to be helping, and if not, apparently I'm going to be cast into an ever-living place of nothing or whatever it is.
How are you gonna help us?
Fuck if I know. I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know really how I got any place.
So what is this 19's replacement? This?
19 what? How many? 19 of what?
Our friend. His name was 19. He was killed. He sacrificed himself.
I sacrificed himself. Good. Yes. Okay.
What do you mean good?
It's just, listen, I have absolutely zero idea what is happening. Let me explain this to you again. I was at the pub having a drink with my friend Ed. He went outside to take a piss. I finished his beer, like I always do. I heard a scuttle. I realized it was probably these bandits again that always come and try to fuck with me and him. They caught him by himself. I walked to the door. I kicked the door open, and to my surprise, was nothing but flames in front of the door. And on top of flames being in front of the door, there was a tunnel, and then I was pulled into it. And then, after I was pulled into it, I stood in this very uncomfortably hot area where some pool of lava was at. It started forming.
Lava.
Flava. Is that what it's? Either way, it started forming into different things, and it started talking to me in this very obnoxious voice, told me that I needed to help them with some magi, that somebody's trying to come into some realm or something, and that I was to do it. I then asked, well, I'm going to do this alone, and I continuously kept slapping myself, thinking I was just a little too drunk, dreaming. And then I asked him what I was supposed to do. He gave me this amulet, and behind me a portal opened, and I was looking at it, very hot. I was very happy. Water started pouring out of it, and I was sucked into it, and then into here, after he explained to me that I was to help him find out who was trying to come to his realm, and some fires burning in some cities, which I have no clue what he's talking about. And somehow or another, I am now here, partially shit-faced, in water, being able to breathe, talk, and there are 3 of you here, which I must assume. Well, hold on. Do you 3 have this thing?
The bracer. Means you're a slave now.
Great.
Enjoy it.
Wouldn't be the first time. Well, I guess I'll introduce myself then. I'm Oldest Orthofume. Might know my name, but it's okay if you don't. Not everybody does.
How old are you?
How old am I?
Yeah.
33. And yourself? You look quite young for a tiefling. I'd assume 17, maybe 18.
19.
All right. And what was your name?
Drift the Curse Breaker.
Drift the Curse Breaker. I'll have questions about that. What about you? Very ornery-looking woman that I have not met yet, but have been already scolded by. What is your name?
Rin.
Pleasure, Rin, kind of. And what about? Why are you? Are you all right? Back there against.
I'm definitely trying to hide. Like,
Yeah.
for sure.
What's wrong with him?
Can I make a stealth
Yeah.
check or something?
No, he's seen you apparently, so.
Okay.
Why is he trying to hide? What's wrong with him? Sir?
I'm going to sort of like turn around like the corner, like, you know, with a flourish, and I say, me?
Yes.
You're very perceptive.
You look the most normal out of the three of you.
Certain that I was cleverly cloaked behind this wall.
Yes, I'm sorry to tell you this, sir, but you'll never be able to hide from me. I do the hiding.
Oh, really?
Yes, very much so. What is your name?
You can call me Eero.
Eero. My father had a friend named Eero. That's it. Yes, that's all. There's nothing more to that. So, if I may ask now that Rin, Eero, Drift the Curse Breaker. Full name, you want me to call you the full thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, I shall do that. Okay. Well, once again, you can just call me Oldus. I suppose that this is very strange. 1 minute you're drinking, the next minute you're breathing underwater. That's a very
We don't have time for this.
have happened. No, you're right. We don't. I don't like being underwater very much. How do we leave here? Are we stuck here? Did you guys?
We
get
don't
stuck?
know.
I
Oh,
point to the door behind him. The doorway.
So we can just leave by going out that doorway. Is what you're saying?
It's not exactly that simple.
I may ask one more question to you three. Why do you all seem so dull right now? What?
Did you not hear us say our dead friend? What part of that did you miss?
Yes, was this recent?
It was just a short while ago.
You're speaking like a couple days ago, I assume, right?
No. About an hour or so ago.
Oh, my. Well, you have my condolences. I assume you were very close to this person?
Yes, we were.
And I'm gathering I was sent as a replacement. Great.
You are not a replacement for our friend.
An addition.
I suppose so.
I'd like to
Hasmal's grand joke.
Yes, this Hasmal's character. I'm with you on that. Very irritable words you just said about him. Well, I need you to understand something. Very simply put, I don't want to replace anybody. I'm not here to try to do that, and I also
Good.
didn't
Then
have
you
much.
won't.
Good. Then we're at agreement on that. Good. I didn't have much choice in this matter. Just as a note, I was just kind of pulled here. You do understand that? I understand you have lost a friend, it seems like, and you all seem very touchy. I'll do my best to not offend, or I'll try not to. I cannot promise. I'm very straightforward. But
I just kind of swim forward and I say, listen, I appreciate the fact that you are new to your situation. We've all been there. We are trying to process a difficult situation.
Yes. I quite understand that. Yes. You've made that very pertinent, yes.
Currently, we are... And I just kind of float over to these... to the rune and the pedestals and whatnot. And I say, we've explored this temple briefly.
All right.
And we encountered a horrible creature. It was
Horrible creature.
extremely strong, and we were forced to flee.
Forced to flee?
We were unable to escape it, and were presented with a choice.
All right.
Our friend sacrificed himself so that we could...
You don't need to say any more. I understand what you're saying.
Regardless, after the event, this rune illuminated itself above the pedestal here. There are 3. We can assume that there are, well, hopefully not 3 of those creatures. But some sort of event or
Trial.
trial, yes. We saw one of these pedestals further in, which is where we encountered the creature.
All right.
I assume we are searching for 2 more.
All right.
What are you laughing about?
Oh, I'm not laughing. I am, but not at anything that you're saying. Just trying to realize, as you said, I'm new to my situation. This is all a bit overwhelming, and I did say that right before I was pulled in, I'd had a few drinks, and this water is not sobering me up enough, is it? I can't smoke my pipe down here. Is anything that would help me sober up a little bit? Either of you? Any of you?
Oh my god, I punch him in the face.
Okay.
100% not going to let that happen. I will
Give
for
me
sure potentially see.
an
Do it.
attack roll.
I will sober you up.
What is that a 19?
That's a 19.
That's a 19!
19!
Well, what is your AC?
My AC is 15, but I'm definitely going to try to dodge that.
Isn't it lower down here?
You can't. This is a surprise attack, and your
Okay.
AC is you trying to dodge it. That's what that is, unfortunately.
Okay. All right.
She
Well-
just like it probably you don't even know it's happening. She's probably like here, and it's just this bam, cold clock.
Oh,
Give me
You
damage.
sober now?
Unless are you trying to hit him?
No, I'm just trying to sober him up. I don't
Alright.
want to actually hurt. Clear of mind now?
A little bit, but not that much. Quite a bit, but hold on a
Want
second.
another one?
No, don't hit that hard, so it's not going to do much. But that's quick.
I wouldn't test her.
Oh, believe me, after that hit, I would love to test a lot of things with her, but we'll discuss that another time. Oh,
What did you say?
I'm slowly swimming backwards.
oh gosh, I haven't had a woman hit me since my wife. Oh, that was the last woman to hit me. You did something, but it wasn't sobering me up. You just brought a little bit of emotion. Thank you.
Oh god.
No, I'm good. I'm not going to cry. Just didn't quite expect that. No, but sincerely, do you have anything to... Hold on a second, real quick. Hold on. Let me just... Starts looking through his chest, like all of his stuff on his bandolier. All right. He takes out a ration. Oh. So, I think you're going to...
Sorry, what was that?
No, nothing. So, Eero, is it you were saying? Oh, goodness gracious. You were saying there's some pillars here.
Yes, pillars.
I really am genuinely sorry. I don't know you, but I'm an empathetic person. That sucks. I'm sorry. And you understand I'm just some random human being tossed into your adventure. It hasn't went very well. So just do as you please, and I'll help. I'll help in any ways that I can.
I swim past them, and I'm gonna start heading to look for the next pillar.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with him.
All right, where do you go?
Once we get out of here, though, if that's all right.
Yeah, so like if he's kind of like calming himself down, I think I have a bit of sympathy for his situation, considering we were kind of dragged into all this as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
I'm going to cast minor illusion. And I'm going to
I can't see.
You
I
can
have dark
see
vision.
his dead body. Can you see? Oh,
I have dark vision.
I'm
Okay.
going to create a smaller version of the aboleth.
Oh,
And I'm going to sort of say, if you see this creature,
oh,
be wary.
God.
Oh
Hero.
my goodness. I'll be honest with you. I'm not really scared of anything. I don't really have much to lose.
Great. You can go first.
Oh, if you want me to, I suppose I could, but
That way.
Excellent. You can lead
Quite a
the-
bit ahead. Yep. Go for it.
oh, so you. I see. You're going to use me. It's all right. I understand. I'm the newbie. I understand. All right. Hold on. Okay.
You said you wanted to be used, so get to it.
You should be cautious, my lady, what you say. All right, so you want me to go ahead of all of you into another room. What about these? He was speaking a lot about runes to me. These other runes here. Have we tried doing anything with those? You, 3, 4?
I would
We
say
tried
that.
putting our bracer on them. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. How did the other one light up, if I may ask?
After we encountered that creature, and
The rest of them light up by touch, though.
yes, when we encountered the pedestal, well, I didn't exactly see what happened.
Is that a little token? Is that your illusion?
Brad put that one down.
You're evil, Brad.
I thought you wanted it. He made the illusion. I didn't do nothing.
It's only 5 feet, by the way. It's not 10.
Yeah.
All right, so
Minor illusion.
you lit up.
Whoa.
Okay. All right,
Put
buddy.
it away.
All right.
What? So you lit up this thing, and then that thing came out of nowhere and attacked you. You ran. Some shit happened, but you're not quite sure how this lit up. Is what you're saying? You're not quite sure.
I didn't see what happened. Perhaps the others did.
Can I do a
No,
perception
didn't
check,
either.
Brad? Since realistically, this is like my first time in here, and I can see.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so what I'm looking for is anything out of the ordinary as far as, especially around like the ruin that's already lit up and stuff like that. I got a
Okay.
5, so it doesn't matter.
Well, what you see is you see everything. You're just confused by it. Probably you can't really make out what you're looking at necessarily. You see the 3 pillars, all the various runes and glyphs and stuff that are twinkling on some of the walls and broken pillars that are here. You see this large black void that looks like a big black mirror or something. If you swim closer to it, you don't have any reflection, so it doesn't make any sense. Maybe touching it, you're a little unsure as to what it is. It looks kind of like a window, but looking around it, it just looks like a opening. It's probably by far the most confusing thing in the room. You see the rune on the right hand pedestal. You see an opening that leads out of the room to the south. You see there is a broken part of the wall that leads out of this huge structure to the right as well. There's also several openings that allow you to swim upwards and out through the ceiling, through the roof. But in general, you don't see anything like new necessarily from your out of character knowledge in this room. Taking a little look around, it just looks like a sunken temple, but there isn't really any evidence of like a water god or any sort of god in general. It doesn't even look that religious. It's just that that's the closest thing that your brain goes to. It looks like a church or something, or a temple, but yeah, you don't see anything out of the ordinary other than what is obviously out of the ordinary here.
So let me get this right. So no one has any clue how you lit up this pillar. No one touched it. No one put any pressure on it. Put these things on it, because for some reason something tells me these have to do with a lot of stuff.
No, as I said, we had an encounter,
Yes.
and I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I believe Drift and Rin saw what happened. I didn't see.
Let's retrace your steps then. No, let's retrace your steps. If you can recall, you obviously don't remember, but what about you, Tiefling? Curse the third breaker, the curse breaker.
Curse break.
You got there eventually.
Do you recall what happened right before this?
I'm sure there's another podium that we need to put our bracers on that'll allow us to see the next rune light up.
All right, but are you worried? And I assume the concern is that if you do this, that another.
Yes. After I did it for the first one, all of this happened. So it's technically my fault.
It's not your
Not
fault.
your fault.
I don't even know you, and I don't think that. I think if we're blaming anybody right now, it's this Hasbat that has done this to any of us. But that's for a whole nother conversation. Maybe over a drink I'll buy everybody. So what happened right before the creature appeared? What were you doing?
As I said, I put my bracer
Yes, I've had a little drink. Forgive me.
onto the pillar,
Okay.
and
Onto
the
these
creature appeared.
These pillars right here. You touched these pillars. These ones right
No,
here.
it was a separate one.
The separate
So I'm
pillar.
sure there's two more that we need to find.
All right. Well,
And when we find it, all will be good.
I like that attitude. I like that attitude from you a lot better. Well, then, I guess we should search for these pillars. Do you
Lead
know
the
the
way,
one?
fearless.
Well, I've never been down here before. Which direction is the best to go? Do you know
Pick one.
where you've been? I mean, I can pick one if you want me to. All right. So since the first place they designated to go to would be straight down, I'm going to go straight down. But before I walk through the corridor down into there, I would like to do a check to see if there are any traps.
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
20.
A 20. Yeah, you swim towards this gigantic open door, and it's a huge archway that probably once housed like a huge like wooden door or something that opened outwards to allow you to go outwards into the courtyard ahead of you that you sort of see beginning to open up and sprawl in front of you. There's like a kind of a ruin of a bowl or a fountain or something, very large looking thing that probably once housed water, even though technically it still is now, you know what I mean. The doorway, the area, there doesn't appear to be any traps. There doesn't appear to be anything. You're not even seeing schools of fish. Like, you're underwater, there's no like fish or weird little creatures swimming around and stuff like that. Looking at the doorway, you're looking for like your conventional traps and things, like a tripwire or something on the wall that might, you know, go off, maybe a magical rune or something. This place is, for all intents and purposes, pretty damn safe and oddly empty of anything like that. Like, there's probably never been traps on this in this area. For the most part, it just looks like you're in a cave, and normally you'd be suspicious about the fact that there isn't any traps, because this looks like the exact type of dungeon where there would be endless traps and creatures attacking you, but there isn't.
Well, I've scouted ahead a little bit. You've not been this way, I assume, the three of you?
Brad, didn't we come through this
For
way?
the record, you guys absolutely have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did.
you came
Yeah.
from this direction.
Yeah.
Yes, we've
Right,
come this way before.
All right, which direction did you come from once you got into here? Point me in the direction you came from. Do you remember Drift, the Cursebreaker? Do you remember or recall where the pillar you touched was?
Yeah, I'm pointing like that way.
Yeah.
That passageway is what brought us to the pillar and the creature.
Well, in that case, then maybe we go the opposite direction to see if there's another pillar. And do we have any idea how many there might be? Because it seems as though, apparently now that I'm here, something tells me this riddle says we're going to need to touch 4 pillars, maybe at the same time, or maybe just one at a time. Maybe we should head to this direction, and he points to the what would be like the east of where they're at. What do you think?
We've searched this room, right, Brad?
I think, yeah, Iro, you searched the I'll just call it the temple area for now, the big room that kind of arcs overwards, and you checked each of the littler rooms and chambers. It's super empty. They're all the same as the one that you were in, but just in worse states of repair.
So this was the only exit that I saw other than up?
There's a broken wall at the far end next to where the mirror is. There's also just generally this direction that you guys have not checked. But this for sure leads back to the room with the rune, and also where Drift came down through what was the hole, which would also potentially be the exit. This natural cave over here, and then the cave and some of the runes continue this way, and I don't think anyone's been over there yet. This is a dead end.
Well, I point.
There's also up.
I point this way, and I say that's where we encountered the creature. I don't think we've really looked over this way.
All right, well, then let's explore a little, I suppose.
Either way,
Is a note, by the way, regardless of how awkward this situation is, I do want the 3 of you to understand that I mean you no harm. Just as a random note, I feel like it's important for me to tell you that, considering I don't quite like being ganged up on unless it's in certain situations. So I just figured
I want you to know something.
Yes, please. Yes.
We just lost our friend
Yes.
an hour ago,
I'm very sorry.
and you talk way damn too much.
Well, I don't apologize for that. But I will continue to try to help us get out of here if you'd like, or if you'd like me just to keep my mouth shut, I suppose I can do that and not help you at all. That's up to you.
Our friend before, his name was 19. He had a tone about him. So right now, all I'm doing is comparing, which is not fair for you.
No,
You're
it's
right.
not, but I get it. You're also quite young, am I right?
I'm 19. So just understand when I say, I don't know what is going on right now,
Neither do I.
and the feelings that I'm feeling cannot be controlled. So just shut up a little bit and let's get this puzzle figured out.
I don't disagree with you, but I also need you to understand that whereas I get where you're coming from, you must understand where I'm coming from. I'm not here to upset or bother you, and if it would make you feel better, I can be a little more quiet, but I don't quite think that's going to help either of our positions.
I think what he's saying is needing us to understand and us actually understanding right now are not the same thing.
It makes sense to me. Well, again, Drift, the Cursebreaker, I don't mean to offend you, and I weirdly can
Wait, where's Zero?
partially relate to... Where's Eero? Your friend.
Hero.
Hero?
yeah, I'm right here.
That's him, he's right there.
Right. I thought Sorry.
Well, this appears to be another dead end. Yes, by the way, what I was saying,
You can
Drift,
go
is...
through a small
is
tunnel here.
There is a cavern.
There is another natural kind of cave that leads onwards to an area that you haven't been to yet. But it's a natural cave, and it looks small. Like you're gonna have to swim. You have to swim upwards to get into it, and it's pretty small. maybe only about 8 feet across, 3 feet height.
This doesn't look like the direction that we would need to go, does it? To you three? You've been here longer than I have. Does this seem right?
We don't know what looks right.
Hmm.
This place is, well, there appears to be some ruins, and there appears to be. It could have collapsed. I'm not sure.
Why don't you swim on up there and let us know if it's worth
I
our
don't
time?
think any of us should swim up there if you want the truth. My instincts are telling me that if the ruin you had leaned against or done whatever to light it up was back there, that I don't think there would be any ruin through a little crack.
I'm the smallest. I'll go, and I just start swimming up into like this kind of area.
Hey.
Does he just take off like that? What is he doing?
Just start swimming in.
Yep.
All right, give me a perception check.
Very small area.
Fucking 4.
It's dark in here and it's cramped. You're small. You swim upwards, maybe like it's probably only about 15 feet off the ground. You guys have been swimming, and I sort of said that you're between 5 and 10 feet off the ground anyway.
Yeah.
You swim upwards and just move into this hole, and it's a bit like spelunking or whatever, where you have to kind of go into a very tight, cavernous kind of hole.
One of my worst
Quote me.
fears, by the way.
I don't know why people do that. It's weird.
So scary.
Clam does that, right? And he's a freak.
Yeah.
No, never. But you go in, and it's not like, it's not crazy small, but it's not comfortable. And you start moving forward. Does anybody else follow?
I will.
Absolutely not.
If he swims off like quickly, I'll follow him.
Okay, 3 of you go,
put a
1 of
hand-
you doesn't. The non-fearful
I'll put
one.
a hand up for Eero to just stay, and I'll go check it out. It's okay.
So Eero and
Just keep an eye on him, Rin.
Yep, I will.
This is a
Eero
note-
and Drifter.
Just a
Rin.
note, my boy, I'm not scared to go up there. It just doesn't seem right. But if I'm wrong, that's fine. If I don't know you, but man, are you all right? Like, are you?
I'm staring at him baffled.
I'm asking you because you seemed so scared back at when you were trying to hide.
It's not fear.
Hmm?
If we meet something that we don't understand or
Hmm.
know.
Fair
You
enough.
appeared seemingly out of nowhere. With all of the things that have happened to us in this temple, it seemed rather smart to hide and evaluate the problem or thing or whatever it was before we react. However, my friends are rather upset, and they were a bit overzealous. I err on the side of caution.
Yes. I am with you on that, very much so. I don't want to change the topic, but is that a lute?
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm so wet right now.
It is a rather special loot.
Is it all right? Do you think it'll be okay down here in the water? You play, I assume.
Yes.
I know this is probably for another time, but I know a decent amount about music. It just excited me because it's kind of nice to feel a good feeling. I saw the lute when you walked past me, and for a brief moment, for the first time since I've started sobering up, I feel not so unhappy, I guess is the word for it. So seeing a lute, music brings me happiness. So I just wanted to comment that it looks very nice, that's all.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Could probably all use a compliment, I assume, right now. You're very pretty, Eero.
I think this is the wrong time to flirt.
Side
I'm not
swipe.
flirting.
Side swipe to the other side. I'm not staying on there for too long. We'll come back to you guys in like 20-25 minutes. The other
25 minutes?
side, yeah, they've got business. to deal with.
Let's
Y'all,
get it
I'm gonna put you
home.
guys on the other. You're both. This is yes. Here you start swimming forwards through this horrible small little cavern here, and Drift, you can move your token forward. Rin, you can move your token forward to the next chamber if you'd like. It takes a little while.
Yeah.
You start moving, like swimming forwards, and it opens up a little bit, and it opens up a little wider to an area where you can both maybe fit side
stealth
by side, and it starts to
underwater?
go downwards. Yeah. You want to move stealthily, quietly?
I would like to. Yeah, just because like I don't want it. Just in case that big aboleth is here again or whatever that huge creature is.
All right, give me a stealth roll. Rin, you can roll me stealth if you want to be quiet too.
Just in case, Rin. Let's move slowly.
That's a 10.
A 10 from you and a 14 from
14.
Drift. Yeah, so you guys start swimming quietly, which you're kind of doing anyway, and like maybe approaching each bend in this cavern cautiously. The next room, the next chamber kind of opens up, and you're basically just in natural caverns here. There is no sign that there is any of the structures and stuff. As you swim into this open chamber here, give me perception checks.
I got a 19.
Hey,
12 for
a
Rin.
19 and a 12. Drift, yeah, you swim into this chamber here, and Rin, you probably, if Drift is going first, you probably see something weird above Drift for a moment. Like there's like one of those ephemeral kind of ghost-like figures that's up way above you. This chamber now opens up above you and goes maybe 50 feet up before your dark vision starts to cut out, and it seems to be going up real high. Drift, as you go in, you see the same thing. You see that figure of the little halfling, and he's just swimming upwards, and it's that kind of ghostly figure, as if the figure has been there before, and he's swimming like fast, panicked upwards.
What does that mean?
Before he disappears into the darkness.
What does what mean? I don't. What was that? Did you see that?
Yeah, it seemed like he was swimming from something.
What was
Does that
swimming
mean
from
we're gonna be swimming from something?
Wait, what did you see? I only
I saw the little halfling. He was
Halfling?
swimming up as quickly as possible, scared as can be.
Did you hear that?
But
We should probably go back. We should go back right now.
what did you hear? What did you hear? What did you hear?
I don't know. It sounded like someone speaking.
Asmal?
No, it didn't sound like that. It sounded later.
19?
Maybe. We should go back.
Hold on. I'm gonna just go a little
No,
like.
no. We should go back.
She grabs my arm. What?
We should go. We should go back.
But what if the rune is in here?
Then we should go in here together.
Go grab them.
I'm not leaving you here.
I'll follow.
Is he lying to me?
Are you lying to her?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right, then I will let go of your hand and I will start to swim back. But I'm gonna look back to make sure you're following me.
I am following her.
Okay.
Just to get the team down this little corridor and to tell them we got to move through here just to see what else is out here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys swim back, and then you move into that kind of like real tight fucking corridor, natural cave that barely allows you to sort of fit through it. 19 would have struggled to get through this kind of thing. Like, that's how big he was, and how small this is. As you head backwards, I'll just leave you on this map because you guys are, this is just a crossover map portion. The two of you that were on the other side, probably putting your clothes back on, see them swim back through the hole. obviously not really. Yeah, probably
Don't
you having that.
fulfill
Your conversation was long enough to just that they would have swum over there and swum back, probably towards the end of where your conversation was, as he was saying, like, you got pretty lips, or whatever he said to you, as a form of the face of Rin appears through the hole. It can only house
I was just telling you.
one person.
Hey.
I was just telling you a
We
pretty
saw
good.
something.
Oh, hello.
Come on. I swim back.
Okay.
Oh, great. Do you do well in small spaces?
It's my specialty. And I swim off.
Oh,
And each of you goes back into this thing, yeah?
God.
Well, I join, obviously. I come behind.
Follow along and stay quiet.
So, yeah, the few of you can one by one make it through the individual part of this and come back to this open cave area. Drift and Rin, as you approach, give me perception checks. And Iro and Aldous,
You'll
give
get it
me.
eventually.
Oh wait, what am I saying? And what are you
18
saying?
perception.
Oh, it's oldest.
What am I saying?
You said oldest.
Oh, I don't understand what happened there then. Okay.
7.
I got a crit 1 on perception.
21 for Rin.
Natural 1, 17, 18, 21. So the three of you kind of like cautiously maneuver, swim into the opening of this chamber.
Makes sense.
Drift and Rin probably more looking upwards, I assume.
Yeah.
The Iro, you swim in, you see nothing. Rin, you see nothing. Drift, you see nothing. Old
The vision
ass.
doesn't happen again.
No, it doesn't. You also see nothing. That's really all you get from that natural one there. Your eyes don't fall out or anything. It's just a natural looking cave. There is a very natural looking cave. It looks like it goes upwards, like a cylindrical looking natural cavern chamber that maybe goes upwards a decent amount as you come back through another kind of hole in the wall here that's a much larger. You've come downwards, just for the record. As you swam up into this thing, you swam along for a little while and then you go down a decent amount before you come to this chamber. So you're deeper underwater than you were in the previous chamber, but it's not by much, maybe about 20 feet. You've come downwards. But then the chamber opens up again, and it looks like a completely natural chamber. There isn't a single slab or stone in here that looks like it has any of the archaic writing on it. But there is an exit, very large, much larger opening to the right-hand side of this chamber. Basically, your options are to go up or go right. Other than that, it's just sand and dirt and cave.
How high up?
You don't know. Your dark vision is 30 feet or 60 feet.
30.
It just goes upwards then, as far as you can see for now.
Oh shit! I got a shitty perception check. Never mind.
Drift saw the halfling swimming up, you said?
A half.
Yeah, there was a halfling.
There's a half.
It was a vision,
Another one?
and he was swimming as fast as he could, straight up, scared for his life.
Oh, a real halfling.
No, like I said, once again, it was a vision.
All right.
But usually these visions tell us what's about to happen.
All right. Well, that doesn't bode very well with me. Should we go this way then? Just asking.
I don't know if we have much of a choice. The other alternative, as we mentioned, is to
Go look for other runes back in the temple-looking room where there might be runes.
I've already looked there.
All right.
The other direction was the creature.
Just
We just
gotta
need to be
do it.
careful.
Right.
I'm definitely gonna try and I'm gonna cast a minor illusion, probably around myself, so that I look like maybe like similar to the rock around me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and camouflage myself a little bit, basically, try and squish down my body.
When you cast this, what does it look like to us? Do you just suddenly turn into a rock, or do you do something
I
with your
think
hands?
it's.
Or
I think. Yeah, there's like a little murmur or something. and I wave my hand, and it just kind of. There's no smoke or anything. It's like one frame of animation, you know, like to switch to the rock.
Illusion is interesting.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just like try to move along the wall and be stealthy.
Okay, give me stealth checks, everybody.
Ours still, like ours don't carry over.
The 21 for me.
Now give me new ones.
Advantage because I'm a rock.
Yeah, I'd say you do.
Okay. So
Sorry, what'd you say, Brad? You want us to reroll them?
7 for me.
Yeah, reroll. Sorry.
16 for me.
Yeah.
All right.
21 was
11 for me.
21, 11, 9, 7. And Iro, you're leading the way.
Yeah.
And you're heading towards the opening that's in the side of the cavern.
Yeah.
You're not going up.
I'm right behind him.
Yeah, you can move around. As you move around the opening, you see that it breaks into like a kind of natural opening into another chamber that looks a lot similar to the
Oh my god.
the place.
When we see these like Rooney shit, I'm gonna look back at new guy and I'm smirking a little.
Right.
What?
And shit.
You see a bunch of structures in here, and again, it's like a sunken sea. You see these, this room that looks like a big cylindrical, like a dome. Above you, the room only goes up about 30 feet. Some of these other structures, they didn't have a ceiling, or that the ceiling was pretty high up. In here, it's actually kind of small. You can see that a good portion of the ceiling above is intact, and what isn't intact you can see is covered in natural cavern above you. You're in a kind of dome-looking room held up by pillars at the center of it, and there's an exit that's some stairs that lead down, and it would feel like you've just wandered into a domed room that's just like you've broken through the side of a castle wall kind of thing. And you're back inside of a structure, basically. Obviously all of the water and the damage remains, but some of the archaic twinkling lights are around on the any of the slabs and stone man-made stuff.
I'm gonna change the illusion to probably like look like some of the like the pillar debris or something.
Yep.
Basically, I'm just trying to camouflage myself as I move around the perimeter of this place.
Yeah.
Do I see anything on the far side there, or?
The entire structure again is just like a dome here, but there is some steps that lead downwards into another room that opens up and looks a little taller in there. Other than that, you don't see anything like, there's nothing out of the ordinary that isn't just what feels like you're inside of a multi-roomed stone structure like you might find in a castle keep or something like that. But obviously you're underwater and all that.
Yeah, I whisper back to them like, it opens up here. There's some side passageways.
Be careful.
Keep following.
Oh. Okay. And Iro, you head downwards, yeah? So
Yeah,
you
I'm
walk
gonna go
into-
towards the side, like that hallway thing over here.
Yeah, you walk into a room with multiple exits.
Yeah.
One of which is a naturally formed exit, like the one you just came in, kind of like the wall has been broken in. You get the sense that this structure has been...
I gotta just take a second, because this happens in every fucking game that I play. I have fucking like a sixth goddamn sense about like where the quest objective is in my head for some reason. Like I just go directly there in every fucking video game that I play. I'm just saying that.
Well,
okay?
it wasn't hard in this dungeon. It's laid out in such a way to make it easy, because you guys take forever to do everything. So I made it really easy for you guys. That's why everyone's still alive.
Wow.
Yeah, you.
Everyone is not still alive, Brad.
That's why you said it.
You swim downwards into another room with lots of exits. One of them is a natural looking opening. One of them is another one that leads downwards as if you're going to continue down further and further. There is another exit to the left of you that leads into another Well, actually, there's a hallway. That hallway is a little deceiving as to how long it is. It's a little longer than that because it's a set of stairs next to two smaller doors that lead downwards into.
It's pitch downwards.
Pitch downwards at what kind of like, yeah, you probably can't actually see the thing that you can see on the screen there as you go. You'd have to go down and duck into what would kind of be like a basement or crypt looking kind of room. And as Iro kind of heads downwards, you would be met with the same kind of feeling as you move into this room. You see that there are these it's a circular room with an upper tiered area at the far end, which has these, I don't want to say that they are crypts because I don't think you would really know what they were, but they're just like rectangular, massively eroded away stone elements. But it looks totally like a modern day kind of mausoleum or something like that, with a bunch of different, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stone sarcophagi, kind of, but they're not covered at all. And half of them are broken, and you can see that there's nothing inside them. Again, it's just an empty area, like the majority of the rooms have been here. Annoyingly empty. However, at the center of the room is another one of these pedestals that you can see.
Yeah, I let them know before they come into the room for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just say, it's another one of the pedestals.
Last time I touched that with my bracer, and all hell broke loose.
It was one of those that you touched. Can I do a perception check in this room, Brad?
Of course you can.
Or an investigation check for traps?
Yeah, I'm definitely. I mean, my head's whipping around like I'm looking for,
You can
anything
give me a perception
out of the ordinary.
or
Can I
investigation
actually-
checks as you kind
Can
of
I
start
change that as an
maneuvering.
investigation check, and I'm looking for like traps or like hidden little like looking things on the ceiling or anything basically around that could look dangerous, if
Yep.
that makes sense.
25
Perceive
for
any.
Rin.
14 for Eero.
And
4 for Drift.
6.
For
So
investigation.
you each kind of move cautiously into the room, looking for anything that seems suspicious or any traps or anything that might be rushing out at you. You're hyper aware of this creature that was that attacked you previously and just kind of went upwards, so is probably still here. As you move into the room, again, it's oddly empty. There is no schools of fish. There's not really any plant life on the map. That it shows you a lot of like plants and things like that. I don't think there really is. I think you'd find in the area of any of these little plants that have kind of been placed on the map in front of us, it's really just kind of stone and sand and eroded slabs and part cavern, part structure, as if the two things were fused at some point. This entire structure fused into the cavern itself below. And you move into it. The pedestal is a large one, like the ones that you've encountered before and touched and then activated something. The sarcophagus things seem a little too large to be sarcophagi, unless maybe like really big Goliaths lived in here or something like that. There's a natural opening where the wall is broken away that leads to the northeast of the room, but there doesn't appear to be any traps. As far as you can tell, it's very safe. And and this is another room that has the ceiling, because you've come down into it. The majority of the ceiling is intact as well, and it's the same kind of grey-blue slab covered in the archaic that twinkles every now and then, but it is very badly eroded. For the most part, it seems to just be a room that houses this pedestal and then these strange sarcophagi that are a bit too large.
Drift, do you still have 19's bracelet? Bracer?
Yeah, of course.
Can I have it?
I grab it from. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it at the pedestal.
Give me an agility check of some sort. Let me see.
Athletics or acrobatics or what?
I think just give me a dexterity roll. Just roll your
Not
dexterity.
a save.
It's not
Under
a save,
your-
yeah.
Yeah, click your ability.
Because this is just a thing that you're trying to do, and you're not really proficient, and you're underwater, so it's
So wait, what?
just
It's on the left
just
side.
The big
Yeah.
big
Big numbers on the left.
Yeah.
Like that.
Just click the
The
text
word
for
dexterity. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not the saving throw one.
Yeah, okay. 4.
Oh
That's a
my
natural
god!
A natural one. You
Yep.
just aim to throw the bracer and it
Throw like an arrow.
well it doesn't it's probably the water more than anything
Yeah.
and this thing's pretty fucking heavy as well because it's basically solid gold as far as you guys have been able to work out. You
like,
just
go to throw it.
throw it and it just goes and it goes
Yeah.
like 2 feet in front of you and then just dong, hits pretty hard on the
What
ground
was
below.
that?
I was trying to throw it at the pedestal, because it activated whenever
Okay, very interesting.
we touched it. So I thought maybe we could activate it while from a safe distance.
No, I'm gonna go grab the bracer and put it back in my bag, in just like the side of the bag. Not
Yeah.
opening my bag. Don't want to get everything wet.
You think these mean anything? People dead in here before?
Are they open or closed?
What, the sarcophagus looking things?
Yeah.
They're very open. A lot of them are broken.
Okay.
There's no lids to them. I don't know if that's what they're even called, but there's no tops to them. They look kind of like how they look on the screen, which is not great for anyone listening, but they're just kind of open, empty, some stone in there. Many of them are very broken and eroded away. You can see into the sides of a lot of them.
I'm not sure. We haven't really encountered anything that might live inside these things since we've been here.
Yes. But so those two over there, the curse breaker, he touched that rune and everything happened. What's kind of frustrating from what I'm gathering is that we're going to have to touch these runes. Is that what it seems like?
I believe so.
Oh,
I'm still like
I'm gonna go ahead and touch it.
staring like up, like I'm cringing so hard.
didn't you said you made a sacrifice, one of your friends did, and this thing went away. Do we really think that he would make you make 4 sacrifices just to light up the 3 or 4 or how many pillars there are?
This entire journey that we've been on for a little while now, at least.
Yes, I'd love to be filled in later.
Yes, it hasn't really made any particular sense. We are,
Crapshoot.
in all effect, slaves. So, I really don't know.
Well,
I'm
you could do this the old-fashioned way.
literally reaching out to touch this thing and looking at them. All right, is everybody ready? I'm gonna touch this thing.
Oh,
If anything goes wrong, we go back to that room and we swim up.
That's
I'm
right.
trying my best to look like a floating pillar.
You should get by the door.
You're right.
I'm still have my minor illusion up. I look like a floating pillar right now.
Oldie, get
Yeah.
by the
I've been
door with
talking
me.
to the other
Yeah.
pillar the whole
Get
time.
by the Hero, get by the door.
So large monsters.
Oh my god. I touched the pillar with my
Fire
bracer.
gods.
You touch the pillow with your bracer.
Yeah, literally.
Just have to touch them in a certain way.
The rune on the pillar lights up. Boom. Same rune as it is on the other ones. And Rin and anybody that can see the podium, you see it light up, and it's a very soft glow, and it's that light blue kind of purple. Rin, I guess, since you're the closest, will see immediately the elf known as Deathsinger, that kind of ephemeral kind of version of him, like a memory, this kind of ghostly figure, and the halfling that was from 19's vision suddenly standing beside you. The elf touches the podium. What, are you okay?
Yeah,
You rolled
yeah.
a
I'm
9.
rolling something else. I'm rolling
Okay.
something else for me. Sorry.
You see the elven figure known as Deathsinger touch the podium almost exactly the same way as you did, but he doesn't have a bracer on, so he just puts his hand to it. It lights up, and the two of them are pulled into the rune, vanishing from sight. At the very moment that they disappear, you guys need to give me strength saves.
Do we see this too?
Yes.
That vision?
Yeah.
Shit.
The 13.
6 for Rin.
Oh god.
13, 6, 13 Iridir, 6 Rin,
19.
5 Aldous, and Drift gets the 19. So, lots of 19s from you today, which is kind of weird.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is what it's just on my mind so much. I know it sounds ridiculous. I love your new character, Tiger. I'm like heartbroken.
It's realistic too, though.
So, at the very moment you see them kind of like pulled into this rune, Rin, I guess from your perspective first, the world and the room starts to blur around you. It's kind of like a maelstrom suddenly kicks up and you feel the water rushing towards the rune. I think immediately, since you're so close to it and you failed on a 6,
Oh yeah.
everyone just sees like a maelstrom of water kind of kick up and then just start pulling everything like debris, and you immediately, it's like someone pulled the plug, like a giant plug on this thing, and all of you are just pulled towards it. Rin immediately just disappears as soon as she takes her hand away, and then the maelstrom thing happens, and she touches it and she's gone. She doesn't get pulled into it necessarily or anything like that. She's gone.
I'm running to that. I'm sorry. Finish up.
Well, all of you have no choice. You all failed the strength save. You are all
19?
Yeah, all 3 of you are just dragged towards this thing. And you probably had a chance of fighting against it, but since you see her go in, you turn around, you just let it take you. All of you are just maelstrom pulled into this rune.
As we're getting pulled in, I look over at Ira and I go, well, maybe your pillar big enough it'll get stuck and block you in.
Each of you, probably like within seconds of each other, find yourselves in a
God damn it.
whole other place.
The poshest women's bathroom in the history of
You, at the moment that you feel your bodies kind of connect with the podium, you feel this like really odd, intense feeling of pressure, maybe very briefly. You then each find yourselves laying on the ground in a dry room. You're no longer swimming. You're also bone dry. There is like that weird, intense feeling of pressure that you had underwater is gone. There is an odd pressure to the room that you're in. You're in a chamber, and there's something about it that makes you feel like you're deep underground or deep underwater still. But it's a very disconcerting feeling as you're just suddenly underwater and then immediately not and dry. You look around you and you see a stone room. There is the sound of loud pouring water cascading from the ceiling, and as you look up, you see a stone head of a 6-eyed horned monster that's about 4 feet large, 25 foot above you, just above you with its mouth open, pouring water that's falling downwards into 3 close but separate holes in the ground below it. The walls around you're just in basically a cube right now, like a chamber. Everything here is covered in active glyphs and runes, not broken and kind of vaguely twinkling like they were a moment ago in the sort of submerged ruins. The slabs here look perfect and pristine. The archaic language kind of brightly flickering constantly, enough that it provides a dim light in here, and actually your dark vision isn't really needed. It's kind of lit up, but it's still kind of gloomy. The floors are oddly paved with these weird triangular stones, and then on one wall in front of you there is an engraved scene that depicts a 10-sided star, and in the middle of it there is the same kind of 6-eyed horned monster, and on the background of this engraving there's kind of this weird imagery of a kind of field lots of strange symbols and creatures filling it, just completely filling it up. At the edges of the stars are pictures of like different animals and monsters and faces, humanoids, weapons, and runes. You also notice that, kind of standing back from it, you can see that the whole thing is somewhat in the shape of the rune that you've been approaching. It kind of looks a little like this, but there is a star in the center, and there's also just loads of intricate engravings and things like that. But if you were to imagine it in that kind of a shape, it would look like this, but all of the stuff on that image there has changed and replaced by like animals and heads of monsters and humans and weapons and things like that. There is script that runs along the top of it. Does anybody, what language do you speak? Everybody here. Other
Elvish,
than that, you
Common, Sylvan.
Elvish, Common, Sylvan, yep.
Can you
To
just
your
look at my
ears?
sheet?
Okay,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Secret languages.
it's fine.
Yeah, I do.
To your ears, Brad, I speak Common, Orc, and Sylvan.
Common, Orc, and Sylvan. Drift.
I'm pretty sure it's just common, dude.
You
should-
definitely, if you're a tiefling, you definitely speak
Infernal.
And then,
Infernal.
yes, that's it. Sorry, common and infernal.
So the only person that can read this is Rin. And
What?
I'm gonna
Are we
write.
with her? Are we with her?
Yeah. You're all together. You're all laying on
Okay,
the
good, good,
ground
good.
as if you've just.
We're on the posh couch in the women's bathroom.
You're all just laying on the stone
This is the
ground. There's this
best couch
water
ever.
cascading down into the center of it. Other than that, it's just stone slabs on the walls, apart from one wall which has this huge engraving and the
Smells
script
like
on it.
rose hips in here.
There's triangular stones that make up the floor with the 3 circles in it that allow the water to pass into it, and the whole thing is covered in this archaic. There's no door. That's it. You're just in a cube, and it's probably about 30 feet by 30 feet. Let's say like that kind of size. It's not big, but it's not like you're not like crushed in and cramped. Let me message Pumpkinberry with the language that this is in, but you read this. In fact, do you want me to tell you what it says, or shall I message you what it says?
You can message me what it says.
Oh, you
Okay.
little punk. I want.
And it's a loose translation, as if the wording doesn't really make sense properly. But that's pretty much, you're like, okay, that's kind of what it says.
Okay. But we're all together, right? Like we're.
You are all 4
are
of
all
you in
here?
this room, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just gonna, just for the sake of it, put you on this thing here,
Okay.
because you're no longer in the other room, and I don't want to confuse anybody.
Okay. Is everybody okay?
Where are we?
So
I'm kissing the ground. Oh,
now, just to be clear, I wasn't. I don't think I heard this,
Mm-hmm.
but the room that we're in, is it filled with water?
No, it's completely dry, but there is
It's dry.
there is this cascade of water coming from the mouth of the demon head
And is
above
it
you.
filling up the room?
No.
Okay.
There are 3 holes that are about like this, but like the size of a open hand that are stopping the that are taking the water. Sorry.
Okay.
There's like a damp area around the center of the room where the water is hitting, but generally it's all dry in here.
Yes, I'm all right.
you have a spin when you're in water. That's what happened to me.
I'm gonna stand up slowly, and I'm gonna look around the room. I guess.
Okay.
I can still-
I understand this.
What does it say?
What does this? Yes. What he said.
Um,
Yes. What does it say?
It's weird. It's like it was written by someone who doesn't speak the language. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but life will take us down a dark path, but sometimes we must to see the light, something like that.
Right.
Life will take us down a dark path.
Well, tell me something I don't already know. Could you say out loud what it said one more time, please? I'm going to write it down.
Oh, sure. Something like life will give us dark roads, but sometimes we have to take them to see the light. Something like that.
Life will give us dark roads. Sometimes see the
So it's pretty much just saying go down the dark road
I mean, I guess so. Or
the dark path or something we don't want to do.
Maybe we've already done the dark path and this is the light. I don't know.
really use my pipe right now.
It's not clear.
Brad, is there any like bright, kind of shiny lights anywhere?
Yeah,
No,
everything.
everything. Yep, everything in here is covered in the twinkling archaic runes and glyphs and stuff, which casts like a imagine like there's like really dim little LED lit dots and runes and stuff all around the room. It allows for like a decent purplish hue gloom to the room, but there isn't one singular thing that lights the room. There's no torches or anything like that. And what do you give me a perception check for?
I would like to see. You kind of said it, I think, but I don't know if you completely said it or maybe I just misheard. Are there any other spots of this room that I'd be looking for that would have any of the runes that she might be able to read?
No, I don't think you can see anything when you're looking around, giving it the once over. You are not familiar with the. In fact, give me a history check. Let's just see, yeah, if you by some wild
Crit.
reason. Okay, maybe once upon a time you spoke to a scholar who was investigating the time before, which was when the ancient magi were supposedly in charge and running things, right? And he was like, they had their own language and stuff, and all of their magical items are covered in the weird archaic writing, and that is the same writing that is on your bracer, was on the room that Hasmol was in, was on some of the pillars and things in the submerged place, and is covering the walls here. In terms of what archaic is, you don't know. In terms of whether you can read it or what the fuck is going on, you don't know. But you recognize it, at least, in that once on your travels, you maybe met a merchant or somebody who sold books, or you met a scholar or a squire or somebody that understands history to the point where they were able to go, oh yeah, this weird writing in this book or this strange item that I've got here for sale for hundreds of gold is covered in this weird text that
Do
no
I know
one
what the
understands.
text language is, like what the language is?
It's known as archaic, but that is it. And no one knows anything about it. And I don't think you know really anything about it other than, because even on a natural 2023, the best you can know is someone once pointed it out to me on an item or was in a book once, but I don't know anything knowledgeable on it. I'm able to recognize it from a memory before. You literally probably have to be a time traveler to really know any detail about it, but you can recognize it, and it probably brings back a memory to you of like, oh, that dude that was talking about the ancient magi and all that bullshit from the fucking dinosaur age, and that's what this writing is, or that's what these runes and glyphs are referred to as is archaic. For the most part, people refer to it as a language.
There is so much archaic in this room.
You know archaic?
Only what I've been told of it, but nothing particular, if that makes sense. I've just only ever heard of it. I know that it's an ancient, old before our time language, and that's really all I know of it, and it appears to be everywhere. You could read that, though.
Yeah, well, not that.
You always read that when you were a child.
What?
How did you learn?
No, I can't read that. I can't read the archaic.
Oh, you can read. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I was talking about the little runes on the wall. In terms of the script
I'm
that's
just RPing.
above, okay. In terms of the script above the engraving, there is nothing else here, but you can't read that either. I don't think you know what that is. It's
What?
definitely different.
Where's
It's
that
like
water
odd
flowing to?
scratchings. Sorry.
I'm not sure. It just looks like it's going down into darkness.
Repeat what it said one more time. Why do we have to go back into water?
Because we have to. If we want to see the light, we've got to pick one, I guess.
There's no doors in this room. We're just in this room. Well,
Brad, it's this room, water coming down into a dark hole.
Into three little
dark
holes
holes.
that maybe you
Yeah.
could fit like a hand in up to, a bicep.
3 holes.
But we can't jump in.
Three kind of, one hole,
Okay.
2, 3 in a triangle
Drift.
shape.
Okay.
Drift, Drift the Cursebreaker, you seem quite brave. You seem quite adapt to just going for it.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Hmm?
You are the fearless one.
No.
You fear
Well, if you
nothing.
would have let me finish what I was saying, I was going to invite him to stick his hand in one of these holes with
No, I
me.
know what you were going to suggest, but why don't you stick your hand in if you're fearless instead of volunteering somebody else?
You are quite rude, aren't you? You just jump to conclusions, but I guess we'll learn you as we go. Is she always this way?
I'm not listening to this, and I walk. There's 3 of them. Do they look different at all, Brad?
Nope. They're just like drainage holes. Just holes. Just cut holes in the ground.
There's not one that's darker than another.
No, I mean, you can give me an investigation check if you're like crouching down and trying to really look at them over and stuff like that.
So I walk past them and I go, fine, I'll go. And I look and I investigate. Yeah, I'm gonna investigate the hole on.
Would you like some help with that?
Sure, be my guess.
May
Investigate the hole in the middle.
Can I have a little investigation then? Can we get advantage since we're looking together?
Yeah, give me an advantage roll.
Ooh. God.
Drift, not you.
We'll go with the 17.
No, Drift gets advantage. You either get to both roll or you get an advantage
Oh,
roll.
well, that's got a 17.
My bad.
I just got oh, yeah, you get the advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Cool,
got a
cool,
13,
cool.
and that's it.
13.
Between the two of you, you got a 13.
Cool.
You look around the holes and stuff, and they're cut perfectly, like a cookie cutter just went da-dum and took 3 holes out in a diamond shape. They're equidistant. They make a perfect equilateral triangle of 3 holes. You could probably get your hand in there up to like your bicep kind of thing. They look like a modern day kind of guttering hole, that kind of size. The stone, because it has all the archaic writing on it, you can see kind of bends over into the hole and goes downwards.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I had a question. You said that they're diamond shaped?
as in
So-
they're in a triangle
no, I know,
shape is what
but
I mean.
the image that we saw on the wall,
The Rune
with
of Nightstorm?
monster, with the monster and the diamond shape, is it similar? Like the monster's head that I'm looking at, that's big thing, and the diamond shape is similar to the.
The monster's head in the engraving is the
Yeah.
same as the one above you with its mouth
Okay.
open, pouring water
And the
downwards.
diamond shape there?
And
It's the same.
the shape is a 10-sided star.
Okay.
So the engraving has a 10-sided star, and in the center of it is the face, which is the matching of the one above you. The triangle shapes are on the floor. The stones in here, the slabs are triangle shaped and placed together like that. And then the 3 holes are just at the center of the room, grabbing half of this water. There's probably like a slight incline to the room, allowing the water to kind of fall in naturally. But yeah, other than like while looking it over, there isn't like anything that you can see. The water just seems to be rushing into it, though. It's kind of hard to like see through the water, right? Because it's filling the holes and just falling straight into it.
So we can't fit through these holes. What if we stop the water from going into them? And I wonder if there's anything around here that's in the same shape as these, so we could completely stop them.
Do you think since Rin
Yeah.
used her bracer to bring us here, us 3 need to use our bracers in these holes to stop the water of some sort?
You think they'll fit?
I don't know why we would need to stop the water.
I don't think your braces will fit. I think you.
Oh, they wouldn't fit?
Only one arm would go in. The other one would probably go up to the wrist where the bracer
Oh,
hits.
crap.
Well,
Over the engraving that says dark roads are kind of necessary, what is there underneath it or behind it?
Nothing. Just the stone slab. You've just got the engraving in the center in that rune shape of the wall, and then the writing above it, and then the ceiling.
Okay.
I'm not sticking my arm in there, if that's what you're implying.
You've never stuck your arm in a dark hole?
I look at him and I say, this isn't the time.
So you're saying there's a time. That's interesting. So, Drift, you didn't see anything. You didn't see anything out of the ordinary. I didn't see anything either.
Not in this room. I pull out an arrow
Okay.
and I say, what about this?
Yeah, that's a good idea, Drift.
Better than an arm.
And I put it into the center hole.
It's not really a center hole. It's like this. Let me draw it for you. Right.
Yeah. Oh, got you. I put it in the top one.
Okay. It goes like 3 inches in and then stops. Like ding, ding, ding,
And
ding,
nothing
ding.
happens.
That's all the farther you can push it in.
That's all I. That's it. I'm gonna like. I'm gonna like stir it around.
Are you stirring the water in there, my boy?
I'm just seeing if there's anything on the sides or anything around.
Pull it out. Let's look
Could you
at
do
it.
me a
Hold on.
favor?
Let's look at it first. Maybe
Yes.
it's got something on it.
And on top of that, if you do that to that one, could you try it to the other holes? Are they just as deep?
Yeah. I'm gonna pull it out and look at it.
Yeah.
What do I see?
You see a wet arrow.
Great. I'm gonna put it in the hole on the right side.
Same thing. 2
Left
inches.
side?
Same thing. 2 inches. Ding, ding, ding. It's like you're hitting the fucking floor itself.
Where is the water running to once it hits these holes? Are there, and Brad, are there any kind of... I reach my hand in one of the holes and I feel to see if there's anywhere where the water would go.
Sure. Give me a D20. Roll me a D20.
Okay. Fucking awesome.
Which hand are you putting in?
Bitch. I'm putting in my left foot's what I'm doing now, all right?
Are you sure?
1d20, and I'll just be putting my...
I believe you held up your left arm with the bracer when you.
Okay, yes. We're
looked
going to
at
go
it
with the left arm with the
Wow,
bracelet.
that's nice of you. Easygoing GM right there. I want everybody to know that.
Oh, I'm just
what
saying
that
when
means.
when Hasmel gave him the bracer, Tiger held up his left arm to look at it for the
Oh, okay.
RP, so that's probably where his bracer is. I can't remember if I gave you guys a
That's true.
side for a bracer. It's probably in my notes, so it might.
You weren't subtly telling him to use his bracer hand?
I also,
No,
by the
I
way,
wasn't.
was
I was just
looking
telling
to
him which
feel
side
around
his
to see if
bracelet
there's any
was
holes where the water would go through those holes. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
anywhere where the water would actually
Yeah,
traverse to?
where would it be running to? You rolled a 3. You put your hand in,
Oh God.
and that is where we're going to end today's session.
Oh, that's a dumb cliffhanger. That's a little dumb one.
Is it?
That's a dumb one.
Is
I
it?
love that.
Because you don't know what you just activated.
I don't like that.
And maybe we don't have time to deal with that today. But we will have time to deal with it next week. Nope. The week after. Why, John Sandman?
I'm sorry.
Find out what happens in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's why I'm even more mad, because I'm mad at myself.
Because
Wait,
next week
You're
we...
canceling. We're not doing the session because somebody's not going to be here. What?
Oh, we're doing
No.
a session. It's just we're
Oh,
not going to be
okay.
rejoining you
It's like
four
our
as your
city.
characters.
Yeah, you guys are
Okay,
doing something
alright.
fun
We're
again.
going to be doing
Okay,
some
alright.
other bullshit, just
Yay,
like
Francisco.
Christmas Day. Yeah. So,
What the?
introduction of
What
the new
the-
character. Everybody go and send Tiger Writer some tweets.
It was great.
And,
That was really good.
uh,
Yeah, it was a really good
and-
introduction.
And yeah, send him some pictures of
Dark
hands.
holes. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
And we'll see you guys next week. There will be an episode, but much like when we had the episode on Christmas Day, which was kind of a separate thing, we did a little one-shot within the universe of Darkfire that was linked but not necessary to watch to continue watching, we'll do one of those, basically a kind of episode. What was this, 32.5 if this was episode 32. And then the week after, we'll rejoin this crew here because they're in an important place, and I don't want to just do an episode without John, and he gets to miss all the important stuff. So we will be here next week. We'll do a one-shot with the 3 scrubs that aren't going to San Francisco to have lots of fun. But until then, we'll do a round of shout-outs. Let's start with John Sandman, since he's not going to be here next week. Find out where you can find him for the next 2.
Yeah, just the usual. All the links are in chat. Twitch.tv, John Sandman. Tiger, I just want to say, out of character now, love your new character. I think it fits you so well. I think it's so fun. It's different. It's like literally completely different than 19. And I'm sorry I was so hard on you in character today.
You don't need to apologize for that at all.
I know, but I felt like my heart always feels bad. But like, you know, I will just say Drift is royally fucked up. Like if another person dies, Brad, I'm not putting this on you. I'm just saying out loud. If someone else dies, I'm done. I don't know. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
done.
Maybe it's you that's gonna die.
Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me, you guys. But thank you. It was so fun, man. Such a fun session. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subbing to this awesome channel. And there's a lot of good shows on here that I've just been like lurking on. It's just amazing. So definitely go check them out.
Thanks, John. And yeah, maybe try to not die. How about that?
Won't.
All right.
Have
You
you
can't
just
kill me,
tried
bro.
not dying?
Everyone else, just try not dying, if that's okay. Because I don't want you to die either. But you know, who else we got? Tiger Rider, new boy, new kid. It's hard being the new kid, right? And showing up with like a pre-established group, and then everyone's
only have
like,
one thing to
"Fuck
say about
you,
being the new kid, and that's
dude.
it.
Fuck
have, like-
off." And you're like, I
I have, like,
can't.
one
I have
thing to
been
say about the new
thrown
guy, and
into
that's it.
this shit. Please, you don't understand. There was a fire guy, and he put this thing on my. And everyone's like, "Fuck off, bitch! Get out of here! You ain't 19." You're like, I can't. I have to do it too. And you have to follow along.
So first thing, I'm Tiger Rider, and thank you guys for coming out and watching the show and hanging out. If you want to catch me, I stream Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and then here on Tuesdays. The other days I stream on my channel that you can find that is in the chat right now. And if you want to come over and say hi sometimes, I usually go for 6 to 8 hours a night. Usually start mid-afternoon, go till late evening.
Mid-afternoon CST.
MST.
MST. I don't know what the difference between CST and MST
Mountain
is.
Standard
1 hour.
I'm not learning 2
MST
extra time
is
zones.
like
You've got
when
too
you
many
get
in your
sick from
stupid country,
food.
okay?
Yeah.
Fuck off with your time zones and your daylight savings and your 17.
The only thing I
different
will
places
say
where you
about
fuck
the
get.
new character, and that's it, it's just one thing. The only thing I saw some people saying, and it's always funny because I knew Rin was going to be the biggest one to deal with.
Sorry.
Yes, fine.
no, no, no.
Biggest-
She doesn't
Just,
like
I'm
you.
just saying this out loud to people that are watching. Just because someone states that they're not really scared of much and fearless doesn't mean they're an idiot. That's just a note everybody should probably think about. People are like,
What?
I want pussy.
Oh yeah, but you're gonna take advantage of Drift and his
Abso-fucking-lutely.
willingness. Yeah, she knows that. She caught up on that.
He's calling you on your shit so
absolutely.
bad.
He's
He
not
will
stupid.
call you on your
You gotta think, he's with
bullshit.
3 people he doesn't know. He just had all this stuff happen all of a sudden. He's might be fearless, but he's not going to and being like, well, I'm not really scared of this, but I'm also not
I
quite
don't
going
want
put
to
my-"
hurt you. She knew
So
it
it's
was a
just really
lie.
it's always just really funny because I just can't wait till we're like 5 more episodes in, and then everybody will be like, oh shit, okay, all right.
All right.
Okay.
We'll see. All right. Well, someone who is very fearful and stupid, Pumpkinberry.
Hello, I knew he was gonna do that.
You're
It's
welcome.
me, Pumpkinberry. You can find me at all the things there linked in the chat. But more importantly, tomorrow I'm GMing Nocturne, which is a
Tomorrow.
dark supernatural thriller. So you should come and hang out. It's really good. That's it.
You get to impart all of her fears onto players.
Everyone
Yes.
else. Yeah.
She has to,
Oh man, the interactions already with those two.
the can I tell him what your character was almost called, Tiger, before I had to shut that shit down?
Which one?
When you
Which-
were like,
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah,
call my
yeah, yeah,
character
yeah, yeah.
Briar.
I like my new name. I like my new name a lot better.
I was like, you're not calling him Briar because
Oh,
we
no,
already
you can't
have
do that. We have it,
2
yeah.
Briars
Yeah, I had no
in the
clue.
same game on a Wednesday. I refuse.
Oh, really?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
We have a Briar and a Brian.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Because PB goofed on
It
the
was my fault on the overlay, yeah. And,
like the
and bless
odds.
Katie. Katie just rolled with it. She was like, "Yeah, I'm Briar now."
What are the odds? What are the
I
odds?
really like my character's name a lot. I sent it to Brad, and he was like, "Ooh," and we actually talked about the name for what, like a good 6 or 7 minutes. We're like, "This is why."
Yeah.
I really like the name.
Yeah. The character's really cool, and I'm not saying
They
anything
don't
more
even know.
about
They
it.
don't even know
I'm not saying
anything about
I'm not
him
saying
yet.
anything.
They don't know shit.
Instead, I'm just gonna pass the baton
Wonderful.
to Mr.
Baton
Baton
Rouge.
Rouge himself, Wax Steven, who was born in Baton Rouge. You can tell from his accent.
Do it.
Hey y'all, it's
Isn't that a Garth
it's
Brooks
a
song?
pleasure to have you all here today. Thank
Isn't
you
there
so
a Garth
much
Brooks
for
song called-
joining us.
Louisiana.
I'm tickled pink to have everybody here today. It's just an absolute pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure. Hey everybody, I'm Wax Steven, and I'm normally the GM or DM of Doom, depending on where y'all come from. But today I played Erodir, and I hope that you enjoyed my playing Erodir. And thank y'all for coming out. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. And I would like to say that I hope you'll join us for some Nocturne tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, same time as this show. So if you're over in Europe, then well, it's still going to start an hour earlier for you. So come on, join us for Nocturne, and hopefully we'll see you this Saturday as well for the premiere of a new one-shot miniseries called In the Black. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay.
That was
Bye.
amazing.
Whack out.
Whack out.
Night.